intended for Anthony Mount, who's an Olympic kid of Graduate Park High School.
Owen Ferguson on the coverage there, doing a nice job for Manitoba. So it makes it 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Manitoba bringing in their nickel package, just 3 down linemen.
Second and 10, Manitoba rushes only 3. Pass was picked off. And that's John Teasman, linebacker for the Bisons, and a big turnover early on.
And how about that? Teasman's the guy who came in for the nickel package, and he comes up with the interception. This is just a fantastic drop by Teasman right into those passing lanes. And he comes up with the nice grab. Again, this is what I talked about before. Quade Armstrong trying to force a ball in, and he did that right there. Not only man coverage on the backside, but then he's throwing it. He's got a man dropped in the zone as well, and it just throws into the double coverage. A nice pick there by Teasman.
Bison's running on first down. Let's check in with Jim Toth.
Well, Mike, we talked about how this win game for the U of M, and they had a rough week of practice. The flu bug went through the team, especially on the defensive line. Wyatt Jacoby and Everton Black didn't see practice time, and they were telling me that they feel a little weak and just dehydrated, but they're out there battling today. But we'll have to see as the game goes on how the flu bug affects this team, especially on the defensive line.
Bison's gained 4. It's 2nd and 6. Friesen has a receiver and a first down and more for Jake Kennard.
Well, that's just some sloppy tackling by Alberta, but a nice play by Jake Kennard to pick up the first down. And this is where we see Nate Friesen feels the pressure outside the pocket, hits his man, and right here, 1 shot there, 2 shots there for Alberta. Neither man can come up with a tackle. Dan Bass, he's usually one of the most surest, one of the surest tacklers rather in the Canada West, can't come up with a play there.
Manitoba at their 46. Matt Henry gets back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Case Kerr.
Yeah, nice play here by Case Kerr to come up from his halfback position to make the tackle on Matt Henry. So once again, 2nd and long situation here for the Bisons.
Let's go, let's go, let's go! Sideline!
Well, both of these defenses were tough against the run in their last game. I mean, the Bisons stymied Dave Boyd.
Absolutely.
Of UBC, and last week, Alberta was really stingy against the run against Saskatchewan. Bisons try to run again, but go nowhere.
Yeah, both defenses are kind of feeling themselves out. I mean, obviously, Alberta's defense really struggled early in the season. Dave Boyd ran for over 200-plus yards against them in their first game of the year. They went up against Matt Walter, easily the best running back in the Canada West from Calgary. So they've faced some tough talent. And we see, like, look at the face mask in there. No call on the play, but you could see Matt Henry getting pulled down by that face mask. Just some of those things that go on in the pile that nobody really knows about. Some great camera work there by our crew.
Brendan Bowman averaging just under 40 yards a punt. This one's decent. Fielded by Jess Below.
It's going to be the death of me, Mike. I want returners to catch the ball in the air. These are speed guys. Come up, make that catch in the air, and be on a run when you get the ball, and you're going to have way more opportunity to get a better return. Instead, they let it bounce around. Look at that. He could have got there. Instead, he pulled up. Fortunately, gets the favorable bounce, but it's nearly another face mask right there.
Yeah, and you might even get no yards.
Well, that's exactly it. You're going to get an automatic no yards if you can get that on the run.
Alberta's had a couple of good drives in this first quarter. Haven't converted. Here's Tendai Josie. He's getting at least 5 to 7 yards a clip.
And the thing about it is, you know, I expect them. give a steady dose of, keep going until this guy fatigues, and even if it does, switch him out, put their backup in, Jarvis, which they're doing right now. Just I say that, but hey, keep going back to him. I'd like to see him get 5-6 carries in a row until Manitoba can prove that they can stop him consistently.
Well, the Bears coaches are right next to us. We should put a headset on you, and you can send those plays down, Dan. Second and short, and they get the first down. Jeff Wolin is the fullback. So we're done with the first quarter. Manitoba takes their opening drive to the house, and they lead 7-2 after a quarter of play. You're watching the Canada West Football Game of the Week from Winnipeg on Shaw TV.
Realize the dream in you.
Realize the team player in you.
Realize the curiosity in you.
Realize the innovation in you.
Realize you are going places, guaranteed.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Wednesday, October 7th, when the Kootenay Ice look to bury the powerhouse Saskatoon Blades. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
CIS Canada West Football is live on Shaw. Catch the best of the best battle it out for Western Canada gridiron supremacy. Tune in Friday, October 9th when the Saskatchewan Huskies look to protect the home turf from the invading UBC Thunderbirds. CIS Canada West Football, only on Shaw.
Shaw brings you every NFL game, every Sunday, all season long. Order NFL Sunday ticket now for only $49.99 per month for 4 months. Call 310-SHAW to order now.
We're back in Winnipeg, where Manitoba leads the Alberta Golden Bears 7-2 after a quarter of play, and there's Jerry Friesen. His team back-to-back victories after starting the season 0-2 in his 9th year with the Golden Bears.
Yeah, their confidence has really started to go after those big wins over SFU and Saskatchewan. Both teams at the time were nationally ranked. In fact, they were close to being nationally ranked this year. They're actually tied for 10th, but they got outvoted at the end, Guelph taking that 10th spot. So technically, they're almost like the 11th ranked team in the nation right now.
The Bears have had the ball a lot longer than the Bisons so far in this game, but their drives have stalled. Josie is stopped for a loss.
And Jim Jevons, big middle linebacker, coming up and making a nice stick there along with Wyatt Jacoby as we take a look at the first down stats here. And as you mentioned, Mike, Alberta's controlled the bulk of the play, but it was the one drive from Manitoba. You see 61 yards passing, total offense, only about 19 yards difference, in the course that one turnover, the interception for Quade Armstrong. But the one drive for Manitoba, 2 big passes, a great run for Matt Henry, got them to 7 points.
Second down for Alberta. Pass is in and out of the arms of Matthew Orlitz.
Yeah, and that's one you're not helping your quarterback out a lot. That's a ball Orlitz should be able to come down with. You can see he's shaking his head. Nice protection up front. Right into his hands. Unable to come up with the grab. Alberta forced to punt.
Hugh O'Neill in to punt for the 3rd time. There's Jeremy Botello, the lone man back for Manitoba.
Always a threat to make a big return. Of course, he set the CIS record for 129-yard missed field goal return for a touchdown against SFU in their 2nd game of the season.
Yeah, and has a big catch today.
Yeah, definitely one of the guys that Brian Dobie wants to get involved offensively, of course, on the special teams as well. So anytime Botello touches the ball, always a threat. But Hugh O'Neill, easily, as I mentioned before, best kicker in the league. So you know he'll be trying to punt this one towards the sideline to try to limit the return from Botello as much as possible.
Decent crowd here at University Stadium in Winnipeg. Winnipeg Blue Bombers won last night. Usually that's good news for the Bisons, who seem to do well when the Bombers do well. Botello turns it upfield, and he's got some room. Jeremy Botello to midfield, and a good tackle there by the punter, Hugh O'Neill.
Yeah, well, Hugh O'Neill once used to play linebacker in high school, actually one of the better Edmonton high school players, but nice catch here for Botello, just a nice job of fielding that, and then setting up his return. You see a little stutter step, opens up that hole, he's pulling out for his blockers, but nice looking tackle there by the kicker. Gotta love a kicker who can tackle like that.
Bisons with decent field position. Near midfield. And James Girardi gets the ball and gains about 7 yards.
Little mix up here for the Bisons. We used to see Matt Henry, a power guy. Well, we saw his finesse run, but Girardi, a little bit of a smaller back and able to just hide behind those big offensive linemen and slip around them, and he was able to pick up 7 yards on the play.
Well, Girardi's coming out party
was against Alberta.
Yeah, he hit 249 yards rushing in his CIS debut.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I remember that game, of course, that we did on Shaw TV last year. He was fantastic, and you know that was it's a big attribute that to the offensive line. They had a huge game that day.
2nd and 3, Manitoba. Ball was tipped and caught by Doran.
So first down here for the Bisons. Nice catch for Doran. See a little play action, naked bootleg here. Sets up, fires it home for the first down.
Well, they're hoping that young man will be a bigger part of their offense from here on in. Botello on the end around. Has a bit of room out there, heads for the marker, and is close to another first down.
I like the play calling right now. I like the fact they're trying to get their playmakers involved. And for me, that is Botello, Matt Henry. So we see John Mackey on the sideline, the former quarterback. He's calling in the signals. We see the reverse. They tried to set this up earlier. They've run the play before in terms, but they didn't give it to Botello. This time they give it to him and able to pick up the first down.
Well, they've been a lot more effective passing than they thought they'd be. And that's a good sign for Manitoba. So they're working with new receivers this year, or guys who have not been starters in the past. This run goes nowhere.
Nice job there by the defensive line for Alberta, getting a big push to come up with that stop for little to no gain for the Bisons. Kevin Chafe was the man making the tackle for Alberta.
Bisons took their opening possession the distance, gave up a safety, and then had an interception which quelled an Alberta drive. They lead 7-2 on the Alberta half of the field with a big second down situation. Friesen's being chased, throws to the sideline and has Doran for a first down.
How about the composure there from Nate Friesen? We talked about it. This is where he is at his best. Using his feet. He feels the rush. He's got Ralph coming at him, Jones coming at him, and then delivers in the nice ball there to Doran for another first down. Great job here by Nate Friesen on the run. There's not many guys that are able to do that full speed and have a great accurate pass like that, but a nice job for Friesen.
First down, Manitoba from the Alberta 16. They're going to throw again. Pass in and out of the arms of Stu Scollard.
They were waiting. I think they're going to call it a catch, though. Yeah, they're calling it a completed pass. To me, it looked like a completed pass.
He had it for a while.
Yeah.
And did have control.
Well,
he might have stepped out.
He might have stepped out. Well, he had that 1 foot in, but they're going to give him the call there. That's a completed pass.
Because Brian Dobie certainly isn't arguing on the sideline. 2nd and 7, Manitoba. just outside the Alberta 10-yard line. They're leading 7-2 early in the second quarter. Friesen's going to throw. Has a man at the back of the end zone, and it's very nearly intercepted. Ball hung up there.
And it was Brent Krawchuk coming over, number 2 for Alberta. But as you said, Mike, he did have a guy wide open, and Nate Friesen took a big hit on this play. Unfortunately, there was too much air under this ball. If he throws this on a line, he would have had his receiver. It looked like it was number 5, Rory Anderson, was the man who was open. But you'll see the hit that Friesen's going to take right there. And Anderson is there, but Krawchuk coming over, making a nice play on the ball, and as a result, Manitoba an opportunity here to kick the field goal.
Scott Dixon's on to attempt a 20-yard field goal. Had a rough outing last week. And this one's through, giving the Bisons a 10-2 lead.
Yeah, Scott Dixon, you know, he kicked that one from, I think it was 55 yards 2 weeks ago, but he's only coming into today. He was only 2 for 7 from field goal range on the year. So, you know, he's a guy that is not happy with those kind of numbers. We expect a lot more from him. He's a fantastic field goal kicker, and he clutched up there easily, connecting with that one to give his team the 10-2 lead.
Well, in fairness to him, he had 2 field goals blocked.
That's right.
Against UBC in their last game. Golden Bears run on first down. They get a couple.
Maybe a couple if they're lucky. Once again, the man in the mix is Wyatt Jacoby, number 76. He's doing another fantastic job for this Bison's front 7, wreaking havoc in the middle of the field. And then the Alberta offensive line having trouble dealing with number 76 right now.
Second and 8 situation. Quade Armstrong. His pass just a little too high. Flags on the play. David Court was the intended receiver.
We got one in the offensive backfield, one in the defensive backfield. I'm thinking the defensive backfield one is going to go against Manitoba, and the offensive backfield one, it was a late flag, so I'm thinking it's the unnecessary roughness of some sort. So wait for the official call and see how accurate I am. Usually I'm over, so we'll see how I do.
Yeah. Pass interference, Manitoba number 35. Unnecessary roughness, Manitoba number 46. First down.
Hey, I was 2 for 2. How about that? Not bad. But those are 2 crucial calls going against the Bisons. So there's the interference right there. Grayson Wells, number 35, man on his back. That's a tough call because I'm not sure if he was going to even be able to come down with that. And then, of course, a late unnecessary roughness penalty. That's 30 yards you just tacked on right there to an Alberta drive, and always a big killer for the Bisons. Once again, most penalized team in the Canada West.
Yeah, that's a big penalty. Josie, second effort, gets about 3 yards, close to the Bison 40. So you were 2 for 2 on the call there, which makes you 3 for 19 overall this season.
I'll take that. Those are decent numbers. But once again, Josie here on the run. Guess who he runs into right away? It's Wyatt Jacoby in the middle of the field. He's got nowhere to go, spins it back, and somehow manages to pick up a yard on the play. But Wyatt Jacoby has just been too much to handle right now for the Bisons.
Bears got a yard.
Having some clock issues. See his numbers, Josie's stats so far. 8 carries, 48 yards. A little above his average coming in. He was 5 yards per carry.
Well, the last time Alberta was on the Bison side of the field, they threw an interception. Big play here, 2nd and 9. Armstrong flushed out, being chased by Jim Jevons, and he'll get him.
And that is the first, that will be credited as a sack, but the first sack that the Alberta Golden Bears have given up this year. And Jim Jevons is the man who will come up with it. So Quade Armstrong, you see the pressure there from Everton Black. forced out of the pocket, and Armstrong wasn't even looking to throw, but he was trying to stretch it outfield. That's a case for him where he just needs to turn upfield and try to get as much as possible. But once again, Manitoba's defense, every time that Alberta has kind of snuck across that 50, that's where they just start to shut it down.
Big stand from the Bison defense, which is, as we mentioned earlier, without one of their leaders, Eddie Steele, out with a knee injury. And it's, well, the Bisons aren't sure whether he'll play again this season.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be a huge loss for them. Of course, we saw him 2 weeks ago get hurt in that game versus UBC. You could see how disappointed he was. He wasn't able to finish that game, and just one of their stellar players that everybody expects so much out of, a big threat on their defensive line, along with the likes of Black and Jacoby. So hopefully for Eddie's sake, he'll be back sooner than later. And just as I'm watching the Alberta sideline, I expect to see Julian Marchand come in for the next series. He is warming up for the Bears.
Fifth punt of the game for O'Neill. Botello back from Manitoba fields it on the fly. He's been listening to you, Dan. Flags on the play.
Yeah, so right there, there'll be a no yards call. But once again, there's your return man coming up, making the grab. He knows he's got guys in his face, but he gets the easy no yards call. I like the job there by Botello. And once again, though, a tough starting spot as we look at the schedule for the Bisons. They're just coming off that bye, so their schedule pretty tough coming up here as well. Calgary, Saskatchewan, at UBC, and of course hosting SFU, who hammered them earlier this year. So Manitoba Bisons, if they want to get back in the hunt, if they want to be in the playoff picture come the end of this month, they're going to need a big win today.
Yeah, well, if they need 4 wins to make the playoffs,
Yeah,
they've got to win 3 of their last 5 against stiff
tough competition.
Matt Henry. Penalty on the play. The Bears claim they have the ball. It's against Manitoba.
Flag against Manitoba. Duncan Morris, the middle linebacker, coming up and making the play for Alberta in the Manitoba backfield. We'll have a look here. Henry tries a spin move, but Morris would not be fooled. Ball clearly came out after Henry hit the ground.
Well, Matt was averaging just over 3 yards a carry in his first two games, and almost 7 yards a carry in his last game against UBC. First and 20, Friesen throws and has a receiver, Rory Anderson, close to a first down.
You can just see the confidence that Nate Friesen has right now, not only in himself, but also in his receivers downfield. Once again, rolling out to his right. Nice looking play here. And then just down the sideline. Anderson's not running anything fancy. He literally is, it almost looked like he was running half speed down the sideline, but he was just finding that soft spot in the zone, and Friesen's able to hit him for the first down.
Rory Anderson, 7th catch this season. One of their biggest contributors on offense. Matt Henry, big hole for him. First down and then some to center field.
There you see his big first, well, his second big run of the game, of course, his touchdown run, but look at the hole, huge hole for him. And one of the things that Alberta is doing this year is that they put Danny Bass and Craig Gerbrandt both on the weak side. They're going to the boundary side, so they're saying to teams, you want to run that way, you're going to have to deal with both these guys, 2 of their better players on defense. And that time, they came right at that side and were able to pick up the first down, a big first down for the Bisons as they get close to midfield.
Friesen to the sideline, wide open for another first down.
And that's the beauty right there of having a running game that is going. Sets up the play action, and Nate Friesen sells it. And once again, finds a wide open Rory Anderson along the sideline for another huge first down for the Bisons. So you see a man down on the field. Looks like it's Joe Hartman, number 53. Nobody around Anderson.
Well, Brian Dobie felt like his offensive line really took charge in the last game, and O-linemen don't get a lot of credit, but clearly there's been a difference. I mean, they're running the football like they used to, and Friesen appears to have enough time to throw when he's not rolling.
Absolutely, and frankly, I think the play from their offensive line the first 2 games was a big disappointment. They have some huge guys up front, including a second-team All-Canadian from last year in Curtis Stoltz, Ryan Carhut, who played with the Montreal Alouettes last year, and then Sam Nenemas, a big right tackle who's been here for a number of years, including starting on that Vanier Cup championship team. So Brian Dobie expected a lot more from his offensive line. They finally got it last week, and obviously it's carrying over to this week versus the Bears.
Yeah, 3 of their 5 offensive linemen were on their Vanier Cup winning team, and Brian thought they got manhandled, especially in their second game of the season against Simon Fraser. Flags on the play.
Now, I was waiting for that play right there. It's the 3-option play that they ran so successfully versus UBC.
Legal procedure, Manitoba number 68, repeat first down.
But it's going to be a procedure call going against Sam Nemes, the right tackle. It's a play that and Nate Friesen ended up running for a long touchdown versus UBC. 3-option, he either gave it to the fullback, keep it himself, or optioned it out to the tailback, and that time Friesen was looking to keep it, because I'm expecting to see the quarterback draw, because that would be a great play for this offensive arsenal to add that QB draw into it.
First and 15. Matt Henry gets the ball, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then picks up about 5. Yeah, you have to remember, if you're a defensive player, that Friesen, you know, he can run when he has to. He's got close to 100 yards rushing this season.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And a lot of teams, at times, especially if he's hurting with the run, they'll have a focused player that spies the quarterback for the entire game. Alberta's not doing that today, but the big key for them is to try and contain them. That's a big responsibility for those defensive ends. They can't be sucked in on the fakes. They have to maintain their lanes and come upfield, and don't let him get outside of them.
2nd and 10 Manitoba from the Alberta side of the field. Friesen throws, and he's intercepted.
It's the man who leads Canada West in interceptions. Jay Hetherington with his 5th interception of the year, the CIS Defensive Player of the Week. He had 3 versus Saskatchewan, and that was just a flat-out bad decision by Nate Friesen as he was intercepted by Hetherington. As we'll get a look at the replay once again, rolling out to the right, he's got his protection. This time off his back foot, nowhere near his target of Rory Anderson. That's an easy interception for Hetherington.
His 4th in 2 games. He didn't have to work very hard for that one. The 10th interception for Alberta this season. Marchand is into the game, and his pass was intended for Vallow.
Yeah, they're going for a little stop and go, little pump, stop and go. Jerry Friesen talking about Julian Marchand. The thing about him is it's high risk, high reward. That's what you get with him. He's a guy who can run with the ball as well, but he'll make a lot of risky decisions that could, well, as Jerry said, can be great for his team, but also can make a few mistakes. Last year he played for the Calgary Colts junior football. Year before he was with the Calgary Dinos. Came in late in the season and was very productive for them. So doing a nice job so far for the Bears this year.
Yeah, the Bears like him. He's seen action in all 4 of their games, and the pass is complete to Lane Rogers. Let's check in with Jim Toth.
Well, guys, an injury update on number 53, Hart, in the left end for the U of A Gold Bears. On that last drive for the Bisons, he took some fingers in the eyes. He says he had one in both eyes, and he got a bloody nose out of it. He's checking his vision. He's expected to come back, but he's just waiting for his eyes to clear up. That's the battles along the trenches, guys.
Thanks, Jim. First down for Alberta. Marchand runs with the football and gets at least 9 yards.
That's why a lot of people look at offensive linemen or defensive linemen and go, why are those guys wearing visors? Like, why do they have the tinted visor in there? But that's the main reason, playing along the offensive line. We don't see a lot of the guys here wearing them, but that's one of the biggest issues is guys getting that fingers in the eyes, and it can get dirty down those piles. Let's not sugarcoat it. It can get ugly under there.
I'll take your word for it. I clearly never played offensive line. Bears run on second and short.
Either did I, but when I was piling onto the pile, when I used to jump on top, I could see it happening underneath.
Hoping to get a tackle
Exactly,
stat.
there you go. Very smart. That's how you get the tackle stats. First guy off the pile. Last one on, first guy. Hey, it was number so-and-so getting the tackle. That's my key right there.
There are high school players in our viewing audience who are taking notes. They're going, I need to do that
That's
more.
how you get stats, kids.
That's how you get on scouting films.
That's right.
Bears did get a first down. And they get 6 or 7 yards on a run play.
Yeah, a nice tough run there from Jeff Wallen. Oh, sorry, that's Matt Jarvis, who was able to pick up about 6 yards on the play. You can see he's a little winded. But he's going to drop his shoulder here. Right there. Running over the defender. Looked like Teague Sherman coming up to make the tackle from his safety position. So with just under 3 minutes to play here, Mike, 10-2, of course, Bison's leading. You know, Alberta's looking to put some more points on here before this first half is out. Their drives offensively, they've been great in on their own side of the center line, but as soon as they cross, it's almost like something happens. They're just struggling to get things moving. See Jerry Friesen, 9th year at the U of A, of course, used to coach with the Saskatchewan Huskies, and been successful, especially when he started. They struggled over the last couple of years. They haven't been in the playoffs since 2005, so looking to get back there this season.
Well, he must have been very proud of his team last week, beating his former school and holding them to just 7 points. You don't do that against Saskatchewan very often, but they haven't scored a lot, as you mentioned earlier. They fake the run. Pass is complete to Rogers, and the Bears have another first down, but he fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Manitoba.
There's just a case of a guy trying to do maybe a little too much. Rogers trying to drag it out, trying to get as many yards as possible. As a result, Bisons come in, strip the ball, and Thomas Hall is the man who comes up with the recovery. So a huge turnover for the Bisons as we get a look here at the replay. Rogers just, you could see there, he was trying to switch hands as he was making the run upfield instead of just holding on tight with the one hand, and defender comes in, knocks it out, and Hall was able to jump on it. So a big turnover because it just looked there with Marchand in that there was getting a little momentum for that Alberta offense.
Thomas Hall, a big play player. He leads the Bisons in tackles this season and picks up a fumble there. A second turnover for the Bears in this opening half. Both times it appeared as though they were driving. Friesen throws on first down, and he has Botello for a first down.
Jeremy Botello, I mean, just by watching him today and over the years so far, he's the type of guy, you just throw it in his arm reach, and he's going to come down with it. Nice looking catch there. Looked a little awkward, but turning back and make it a nice grab. Botello's becoming a nice receiver. And look at the day so far for Nate Friesen. 9 of 11, 145 yards to the one blemish, so that interception.
Girardi, the ball carrier.
As the Bisons now cross center one more time. And just how things can change that quick. Just talking about Alberta trying to put up some points before the half is out, and all of a sudden Manitoba in Alberta territory and looking to do the same themselves.
Bison's mixing it up a lot more than we expected today. They're passing as much as they're running. 2nd and 5. Friesen, under considerable heat, but a great job to elude the rush, and he gets 25, 30 yards on the play.
It's just a fantastic play here by Nate Friesen to avoid the rush and open field. As we'll see the rush coming from his right, John Mark Jones, he had 3 sacks last week, but unable to corral Friesen. And then once he gets the open field, looking for a block, takes it to the 32-yard line of Alberta.
And that's quarterbacking the Bisons did not have in their first 2 games of the season. He just undressed the leading tackler in Canada West in Jones. Girardi, as they spell off Henry, and a good run from James.
And how about this? Just a couple of moves here from Girardi. He freezes Corey Kusick at the line of scrimmage, freezes another defender about 4 yards down. As a result, able to pick up about 6-7 yards on the play. And they're going to call a timeout. That's Manitoba, Nate Friesen. The biggest thing for me from watching Nate Friesen, from seeing him play SFU, where he was pulled in the second quarter, to even last 2 weeks ago versus UBC, just the confidence from him, whether running the ball or throwing the ball. You know, he's not necessarily just confidence in his own ability, but also in his receivers downfield. Get a look at what's coming up in the intermission for halftime. We'll get a story about Matt Henry and his relationship with his mom, and how he's got a great, strong relationship with her, as well as his running game. Of course, take a look at the Golden Bears defense as they started to turn things around over the last couple of weeks of the season. Then we'll have highlights and analysis. Hopefully we'll come up with something smart to say, Mike.
I'm sure you'll do that.
So 1:20 left to play here in the first half. Big second down play here for the Bisons to try to keep this drive alive.
Second and 3, Manitoba from the Alberta 25, and they're going for the bundle. Botello in the end zone, and he has it for the touchdown.
No, intercepted.
It was intercepted.
Intercepted. Looked like it was intercepted by Hetherington again, but the referees are conferring. Fans are confused. We're confused. Not sure what the call is. To me, that was a straight-out interception. Looked like Hetherington went up and took it away.
Boy, he's a ball hawk if he came
and
down.
And there it is, you bet. Alberta ball. What a great play by Hetherington. Once again, a situation for Nate Friesen. A little too much air underneath this ball. He's got his man wide open, but just not enough zip on it, because it allows Hetherington to come across. You see, look at that play. Comes in and takes that away from Botello. Definitely an interception for Hetherington. Second of the game, 6th of the year. That is just a fantastic athletic play by the starting safety for the Alberta Golden Bears.
Well, you can see on the replay there that Botello did have his hands on the football.
Absolutely.
So there you go. 4 turnovers in the first half. And they've all occurred on the defending team's side of the football. So big plays by the defense. And that's Jarvis getting 5.
Well, that's just a huge play there for Alberta. I mean, just you look at in terms of the situation of the game, they're down 10-2, going to the end zone. Botello's got his hands on it, and Hetherington taking away a touchdown and giving his team an opportunity here. I know they're deep in their own zone, but an opportunity to come up with a drive here with just under a minute left to come up with some points.
Back-to-back interceptions by the Canada West Defensive Player of the Week, Jay Hetherington. Boy, has he had a couple of big weeks. First down for Alberta. Rogers gets about 13 on the play, and let's go downstairs to Jim Toth.
Well, Jay Hetherington just had that big interception. Tell us about it. Obviously, that's key in the end zone.
Yeah, they've just been going to Botello all day. I seen him coming over on the flag, so I just came and jumped it.
You guys keen on that now? The number 6 is who they've been going to?
No, we're just trying to play our game, stop them every down. Here we go.
Big stop for you guys. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Jay Hetherington, guys.
Thanks, Jim. A BC boy. And that's what, 5 picks in 2 weeks?
Yeah, those are pretty good stats for a season. You know, playing an 8-game regular season, and now he's got 6 interceptions on the year, 5 in the last 2 games. So opposing quarterbacks are going to have to take notice, number 18 on defensive backfield for the Alberta Golden Bears. but that just epitomized the play of a safety. The one he made there is just a guy, he playing a little bit of center field, comes over, helping out his defender as well, coming over and just making a play over top. It just can't say enough about the job there by Jay Hetherington.
Well, he stole the ball from Patello.
Absolutely.
Because if he doesn't come in, he probably gets a touchdown.
Absolutely. And Patello's not dropping that. We've seen the great hands for him throughout the day. So Hetherington saving his team there as they're down 10-2 here with 48 seconds left in the first half.
Julian Marchand came in at quarterback during the Bears' last series, and he's in again for this one and gets 5 with a pass to Jess Ballo.
Well, right now, Manitoba's defense is just giving up the short stuff. They said, you want 5 yards every time? We'll give it to you right now. We're just not going to let you have that big play downfield. So the defense doing a nice job to limit that in the Alberta offense.
2nd and 5 Alberta. Flag down. Marchand completes the pass.
Yeah, but this one's going to come back. Thomas Fry, the right tackle, getting called for the hold. And this is on Everton Black. This is all about him and his pass rush coming upfield. The speed, there's too much to handle for Fry. Had to take him down. As a result, it's going to be 2nd and long here for the Golden Bears.
Holding Alberta number 56, 2nd down.
So we're getting a chance to look at the hold just on the left side of your screen. Fry will end up taking him down. You see it right there. Everton Black on the ground.
2nd and 15 Alberta. 30 seconds left in the opening half. They go downfield, but it's intercepted by Pete Adams.
Well, there's nothing fancy about this defense. Cover 3, which means 3 deep for the Manitoba defense. And Pete Adams just playing exactly where he should be. And Julian Marchand trying to force that one into Matt Orlitz. And
which isn't surprising. They needed to get the ball downfield.
No, they need to get the ball downfield, but that's not the ideal play to run against a cover 3. And he didn't get a lot of help from Orlitz there to come back and make a play on that ball.
26 seconds left in the opening half. Friesen can't elude this rush.
You can't elude the rush. People say, oh, he gave it the sack, but you know what? Smart decision there. Good coverage downfield by Alberta. Instead of trying to make a mistake, force one in, decides to tuck it, get what he can, which wasn't much at all, and just take the sack.
10th sack of the year for the Bears, who lead Canada West in that department.
Bison's calling a timeout here with 16 seconds left. You know, with Scott Dixon, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really sure which way the wind's blowing at this point in time for Scott Dixon. I mean, we saw him kick a 55-yarder 2 weeks ago. We know what his range can be if he's with the wind at his back or no wind at all. But fact of the matter here for Manitoba, if they can get to the 40-yard line, which is basically a 20-yard play for them, they're going to give themselves an opportunity to add some more points here before the first half is out. We see Dixon standing on the sideline there. Of course, already hit 1 field goal today.
They get the ball with 10 seconds left. What are we worried about?
Brian Dobie talking over with one of his coaches. Sounds like they're going to take a chance. Maybe send it downfield a little bit, because obviously one of his coaches are afraid that they might turn the ball over.
2nd and long for Manitoba. They go to the sideline. They have Doran, who gets close to 20 yards, Dan.
Yeah, and that's some nice fancy footwork down the sideline. Looked like Doran was almost out at the spot of the catch, but he was able to avoid the defender, shed him. So see here, nice looking catch, and then just turn up field, pick up the first down, and then get out of bounds. A good job by him with 9 seconds left. So another opportunity. Oh, they're not. I thought they might go an opportunity to get a few more yards. Instead, they're going to send Scott Dixon out right here and go for the field goal. from 49 yards.
With 9 seconds left in the opening half.
Tried one more play there. Get a few extra yards there.
3 for 8 on the season. Has the leg. And this is wide right. Brandon Ralph takes it out to the Bears 10. And that'll do it for the opening half. Some quick thoughts from you, sir.
Well, I thought both teams had their chances offensively. I mean, the key right now has been the turnovers. 3 from Alberta and 2 from Manitoba. If either team can prevent those turnovers in the second half, they're going to have the best shot at winning, because I think it's wide open right now.
Well, I've been impressed by Manitoba's offense. They've really mixed it up. But back-to-back interceptions there late in the half.
Well, no, and they've done a good job, and that's the beauty of it. We thought they were one-dimensional coming in, only able to run the ball, but they've done a good job of mixing it up, and their defense has done a nice job of shutting down Alberta when they've gotten to their zone. Yeah, some big plays on the defensive side of the football for both teams. 5 turnovers in that first half. 10-2 Manitoba. Let's go downstairs to Jim Toth.
Thanks very much, Mike. And Brian Dobie joins me now. 10-2 at halftime. Your thoughts on the first half? Are you happy with that?
I can't say I'm happy with it.
It's a loaded question, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't say I'm sure I'm happy we have a lead, but we had opportunities. We threw 2 picks in red zone, 1 in the end zone on a play that we didn't have to make. We needed either 7 points or 3 points when we had red zone opportunities, and we're giving them up. And because at this point the score could be a lot different. It could be 24-2. And now we're putting ourselves at risk. We've got to come out the second half and continue to play this well or better to have a shot. Alberta's offense is doing a good job moving up and down the field, but we're keeping them out of the end zone. So I'm disappointed in our lack of productivity.
Coach, well, good luck in the second half. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
That is head coach Brian Dobie. His team leads the University of Alberta Golden Bears 10-2 on live Canada West football action only on Shaw TV.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Wednesday, October 7th, when the Kootenay Ice look to bury the powerhouse Saskatoon Blades. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
At almost every sporting event, concert, and theater production are empty seats. Empty seats that could be filled with joy, discovery, and possibilities. That ticket you can't use could mean the world to a kid who's never been to a hockey game, or a family that's struggling to make ends meet. If you can't use your ticket, Kids Up Front knows thousands of deserving kids who could. Fill empty seats with happy hearts. Call Kids Up Front or visit kidsupfront.com.
Shaw brings you every NFL game, every Sunday, all season long. Order NFL Sunday ticket now for only $49.99 per month for 4 months. Call 310-SHAW to order now.
Welcome back to the University of Manitoba. 2 weeks ago, we were here to watch the Bisons defeat the University of British Columbia. Now, that day, Matt Henry ran wild over the T-Birds. In fact, it was the very first time his mom has ever seen him play live here in Winnipeg. And through all the ups and downs of his career, from Canada West All-Star, from devastating injury to Vanier Cup champion, his mom has been there for him, a rock in his corner. And we learn more about their relationship from Jim Toth.
Suiting up for practice 2 years after a devastating broken leg in the 2007 Vanier Cup, Matt Henry is feeling great.
Actually, it was like starting of the second half of last season. I felt great, and even now I feel even better. You know, it was a rough start, like you said, but I'm confident in our O-line and our team to come back and do what we always do and win.
Heading into his draft year, the fourth-year running back stayed in Winnipeg this offseason to get prepared for his biggest year of football.
Definitely different offseason. You know, the training I did was so ridiculously hard. Draft year, like you said, it's the most important year of my life, I think. You know, just to get recognized by teams, to show them that I can play this game and at a high level, and even at the higher level in CIS and NFL or CFL, whichever it may be. Hopefully they can see that and give me a chance.
Not returning to his home in Mississauga, Ontario was tough, but it was even harder on Henry's mom, Janet. The single parent was instrumental in his decision to play for the Bisons. With many post-secondary offers to play football, Janet sat through the meetings with U of M coach Brian Doby and supported Matt's decision to move west.
Oh, it was so hard. I cried for a few weeks, but then I got used to it. So
she definitely played a huge role, because Coach Doby talked to both her and myself at the table, and she said that as soon as he left the house, that he was a great guy. She thought that would be the place for me to go, and you know, everything she says, I take to heart, and I keep it here, and I just follow my heart and follow her decision as well.
2nd and 1. Henry the carry again, and the Mississauga man busts a tackle inside the 30, has his feet cut under him, and Henry's slow to
When Henry broke his leg in the 2007 Vanier Cup, nobody knew if he would ever play again. His physical recovery was up to Matt himself, but he credits his mother with helping him make it back mentally.
She prayed for me every day. You know, we were there at home, and I was bedridden for almost 2 months. She was there by my side, cooking me food and doing everything for me. Anything I asked, she was there, and she took care of me like a mother is supposed to, right? But she put that extra oomph in it, so I love her. She's great.
It was really hard when I realized that he broke his leg, because, you know, football is what he loved a lot, and football is his life. And then knowing that he broke his leg, it was very emotional for me. But I tried to help him, encourage him, and, you know, tell him to cheer up. It will be okay. And with all the prayers, you know, he's okay now, thank God.
You must have done it properly, because I didn't even notice you.
This year's homecoming game against UBC marks the first time Janet Henry watched her son play at the U of M campus. After all Matt and his mother have been through together, both on and off the football field, it's another experience they will never forget.
She's the only parent I've had. You know, I've grown up with her only, you know, single mother family, so she's the person I look up to, the person I go to when I need help, or I talk to her every day, you know, so she's been there since day one, ever since I started playing football when I was 11. She's been to almost every game of mine, you know, on the sidelines, running down the sideline with me. Because back in those days, you're allowed to run up and down the sidelines, but here you have to sit in the sand. So she won't be running up and down the sidelines, but she's everything to me, you know, so I cherish her.
Oh, I can't explain that one. I'm so proud of him. He's such an amazing kid. I don't, the words are not enough to explain. I just love this boy.
Look at the stats, and you'd figure the University of Alberta's defense is brutal. On average, they're giving up nearly 450 yards of total offense per game. But that stat really is not accurate. The fact of the matter is, it's mainly from their first 2 games where they struggled. In their last 2 versus Saskatchewan and SFU, they have been outstanding. And a big reason has been a couple of second-year guys who are looking to prove themselves and lead the Bears to the playoffs for the first time since 2005. Kevin Verove has a story.
Power out of there, first.
Practice for Jerry Friesen's Golden Bears going into their game versus Manitoba.
Let's go!
Very upbeat.
Let's go!
Taking care of ranked teams in back-to-back weeks will do that.
There you go. Good
Friesen,
job.
who works with the defense, is very happy with the progression.
We had a rough start, but it was a matter of finding out to see what kind of players we had in the field and what we could do with them. And the key factor is that each player is starting to become more confident, comfortable in their position, and that ends up blending together with all 12 guys.
The Bears' defense is vastly improved from the year previous. Jean-Marc Jones is picking up the slack left by All-Canadian linebacker Greg Whalen, now playing for the Eskimos. And of course, this guy, Craig Gerbrandt, is having an All-Canadian season of his own, leading Can West in sacks and tackles for loss.
Definitely got to keep working harder and harder to keep going. We can't sit and be happy with what we got right now, but with the group of guys, we got to know we can just keep on going.
The thing that he had to understand was the speed of the game, the details of the game, and that's really starting to show this year where he's gone and we've put him into the boundary side of the game, and it's really helped his game a lot, and he's becoming a dominant edge player in the Canada West Conference.
Safety Jason Hetherington is having a breakout season. The second-year art student is the current CIS Defensive Player of the Week. His 3 interceptions and 3 solo tackles in a win versus rival Saskatchewan Huskies have propelled the Evergreen and Gold into a tie for 10th in the CIS national rankings.
I think it's maybe a little bit of the comfort level because last year it's a whole new system, new city, new everything, so I was trying to get a little used to everybody and the system.
He reads the football really well, and now it's a matter of him just getting to the football, and it just so happens that he's brought his game to another level. He's really worked hard in the off season, and it's producing on the field.
Both Hetherington and Gerbrat won't take any of the credit for their own success.
We just have a good, friendly, competitive competitions going, and every day, every game, every practice, we want to one-up each other.
We got a great group of guys with us this year too, so it's definitely bringing a lot of attention to them too. I'm getting in there a little bit, so that's definitely helping having those guys around to give me a little bit of room to play around and get in the backfield.
Before Hetherington, no Golden Bear had 3 picks in the game since 1995. Versus Manitoba, the Golden Bears will be going for their first 3-game winning streak since 2005.
Stick around, lots more to come from here at the University of Manitoba, including highlights from the first half of play.
The City of Calgary's Southland Leisure Centre offers swimming, fitness, and recreation opportunities for all ages. For details, visit calgary.ca/leisure centers or call 311.
High-quality meat proteins, patented formulas, nutrients food for cats, produced in our own facility. No byproducts, no added glutens, fillers, artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Available at Petland. Details at nutrients.com.
Truck Accessories has a large selection of aftermarket accessories for trucks. Located at 430A 40th Avenue Northeast, Truck Accessories.
With Shaw Video on Demand, it's your choice. There's lots to choose from. New releases, action, comedy, kids shows, and more. With Shaw Video on Demand, you choose the movies or television shows you want to watch, and you choose when the show begins. You can even pause, rewind, or fast forward your program anytime you want. Browse anytime, just by using your Shaw remote. It's that easy.
Welcome back to Winnipeg, where the Manitoba Bisons lead the Alberta Golden Bears 10-2 at halftime. Mike Beauregard along with Dan Elliott. And first of all, I want to know about that sweater I saw during the halftime show.
I'm taking a lot of heat for the sweater up here.
Did you actually buy that, or was it a gift?
I did buy that myself, yeah. My mom dressed me, but I bought it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now that we've got that clarified, similar first half for both teams. Their offenses moved the football but turned it over, and the difference was Manitoba found the end zone once.
Well, exactly. That first drive of theirs, which was very impressive, they were able to put up the 7 points. But as you said, I mean, pretty even across the board. Manitoba one more first down. I mean, the big stat for me is Manitoba's passing, 162 yards. That's about 100 more than they would average per half. So that's been very impressive for me from Manitoba's standpoint. As you mentioned, the turnovers have been the big thing there, a big killer. Alberta, a couple of drives snuffed out by interceptions, 1 fumble for them, and 2 interceptions from Nate Friesen, including that big one by Jay Hetherington. Well, he hit both of them on the day, but the big one in the end zone.
Yeah, big plays by the defenses, 5 turnovers in that first half. A low-scoring game, but a very entertaining first game. 10-2 is the score here at University Stadium. We'll be right back with the second half. You're watching the Canada West Football Game of the Week from Winnipeg on Shaw TV.
Realize the dream in you.
Realize the team player in you.
Realize the curiosity in you. Realize the innovation in you.
Realize you are going places, guaranteed.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hey.
Have you got any Post-its?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want to go out sometime? Hey.
Get set for the second half. U of A coach Jerry Friesen joins me now. Just your thoughts on the first half. I would imagine you would like to see some more offense from your team.
Well, yeah, offense and just a little more consistency. Good plays, bad plays. So we just got to go out there and play basic, fundamental football and start and establish tempo out there.
10-2 on the road. Are you happy with how you're playing defensively?
Well, no, we've given up too many big plays. Their quarterback Friesen is doing our job on stretching the edge, so we've just got to make sure we make the adjustments and make sure that we make the plays out there.
Thanks for this, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Jerry Friesen, head coach of the U of A Golden Bears, who trail the Manitoba Bisons 10-2 at halftime. With the second half, we go back upstairs to Mike Beauregard and the man with the sweater, Jumbo Elliott.
You know, I think the reason everybody's talking about the sweater is because they'd like to have the sweater. I could get you a line on where I got it from. You know, if you really like.
I think you've probably broken some television sets across the West wearing that thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing anybody a favor.
It was doing some funky things to the screen.
Oh, man. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse.
Did you think that Coach Friesen pulled Quade Armstrong a little early? I realize that Marchand has had some success, and we could see Armstrong again in the second half. He's been rotating them, but he wasn't doing a horrible job. He had thrown some picks, but
no. But I think as Jerry Friesen had told me during the week, is that whenever they get into a low point, a lull in their offense, they make the switch to try to get a little punch and a little inspiration, and that's exactly what they did. They had a couple of drives where they just weren't getting much production. He had thrown an interception, so they make the switch. Obviously, it's a situation they feel comfortable in. I thought Marchand was doing a very good job when he came in. Unfortunately, he forced that one downfield, and that was intercepted as well. But I do expect to see Quade Armstrong come back in this game at some point, but I think he will go with Marchand to start here the second half.
Well, Coach Friesen mentioned that he thought Nate Friesen was really sharp, and he was. He was 10 of 13 in that first half, but 3 of those passes that didn't go to Bisons, 2 of them went to Bears. And here's Vallo with a second half kickoff return.
And so I was wrong right there. Quade Armstrong, the man to come out as the starting quarterback. So that's a situation, obviously, where Jerry Friesen feels comfortable in going back and forth and rotating with his quarterbacks. Obviously, they're okay with it as well. And the hardest thing is for a quarterback to come and Cole expectation to see his numbers, you know, less than 50% in terms of his completion percentage, but always the big mark on Quade Armstrong is the interceptions, and he threw another one there in the first half.
Yeah, he's thrown 6 this season. He completes a pass on first down, and the Bears get 4 yards on the play. Anthony Mallett, the reception.
Bisons were great to come out with in terms of their defense. Well, I mean, they've been solid throughout the first half, obviously just giving up the 2 points. And really, they didn't give those up because the fact of the matter is that was a safety that the offense took. So the defense has been very strong for Manitoba.
Yeah, if you look at their last 4 quarters, they've been outstanding. Flag on the play. Armstrong's going to run the football, gets the first down, but it could be called back.
Yeah, this one's going to be going back. It's holding against Alberta. Anytime you see that flag in the offensive backfield, you know it's going to come back. But Quade Armstrong tucking and running there. He was able to pick up the first down, but all for naught.
56. Yeah, oh yeah, you guys for sure. Yeah. Holding. Alberta number 56, second down.
So that's Thomas Fry again. He got caught in the first half once, caught here to begin the second half for Alberta. So it'll be 2nd and 15 from their own 25-yard line.
Mike Beauregard, Dan Elliott, Jim Toth in Winnipeg for a Canada West football game of the week on Shaw. Manitoba leads Alberta 10-2. Early in the third quarter, the pass is complete to Valo, well short of the first down.
Yeah, just trying to cut down some of that yardage. It was 2nd and 15, able to pick up 7 there, but well short of the first down. So Hugh O'Neill will come out and punt here for the Bears.
Well, depending on what kind of punt O'Neill gets away, the Bisons could have decent field position here. Coach Doby said in his interview just before the half that he thought his team could be ahead 24-2.
Very easily could be.
Good punt from O'Neill. Spiral fielded by Botello at his 40. And good coverage by the Bears special teams.
It was interesting listening to Coach Doby's comments and talking about how, you know, as you said, Mike, it could be 24-2. And he's taken, as well as Nate Friesen has been, it's some of his decision making that he would like to see better. Instead of trying to go for it all, is just take what the defense is giving you. And if it's only a 5-yard pass, and take that, and we'll settle for the field goal. But when we're in the red zone, we can't afford to come away with points. And that is the big deal for Manitoba there.
Bison taking a bad penalty after the fact.
Second unnecessary roughness penalty of the game for them. In the first half, they had 8 penalties for 65 yards, so they're already up to 80 yards in penalties through this game, and they usually average about 100 as the most penalized team in the Canada West, but that's just something that they've dealt with over the years. I mean, a situation that never gets better. They're always like that as we look at the numbers for Nate Friesen.
Matt Henry, first down run. And a great tackle at midfield because Henry might have picked up another 20 yards.
I honestly can say this. I think this is the best I've seen Matt Henry run since prior to his devastating injury that he suffered in the Vanier Cup. We've seen the power game from him there in the past, but just that finesse run, the quick speed, the quick turns, able to juke a few guys along the way. A fantastic run there from Matt Henry.
And a good tackle by Case Kerr, who leads the Bears in tackling today. That's his 4th of the game. Bison's at midfield, and why not give to Matt again? And he chugs along for another 7 yards.
And as we saw his numbers before, 8 carries for 76 yards, so make that 9 for about 83. So he's having a good day, but he's just going to take a breather here.
It's pointing to his stomach.
Looks like he could be winded on this play. The trainers will come out and check him out. So we'll take another look here. Both guard and tackle pulling as he sneaks through that hole. You know, just maybe a case of falling on the football and then everybody else collapsing on top of him, and that's an easy way, a quick way to end up becoming winded.
Matt with 50 yards rushing in the first half on 7 carries.
Looks like he's going to be okay. Expect to see him back in this game. Maybe a rib holding onto his stomach there.
Oh, that's a good sign. And that'll give James Girardi a few more reps.
Here we go, Keith.
And I'm sure Jim Toth will have an update for us shortly. 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4 for the Bisons. And they give to James Girardi, who eludes a tackle and appears as though he has the first down. Nice job.
Yeah, it looks like he did just enough there to pick up the first down. Eluded the tackle with a quick spin move back to the outside that was allowed him to, well, we'll have to wait and see. The referee's going to bring out the sticks, get the measurement here.
Well, Girardi's carried the ball 7 times today. Has close to 30 yards rushing.
Let's get a look at Matt Henry being checked out on the sideline.
139 yards rushing against UBC 2 weeks ago. Prior to that game, Dobie thought his best running back was Girardi, so it was a real turn of events for Matt Henry this season.
Yeah, no, just in these last 2 games, just seeing him run today, he's running just like Nate Friesen, playing with a lot of confidence as Manitoba picks up that first down. And you can see it in a style where it's running guys over or trying to just be taking a couple of moves that freezes them, and he just looks fantastic so far today.
Now, this is about the 4th or 5th time today that Manitoba has driven the football. On the last 2 occasions that they've been this deep, they've thrown interceptions. Here's Friesen for Doran. It's tipped and almost intercepted by Hetherington, who has 2 picks today. There he is. And I don't think so, say the officials.
Well, you know what, and then their late flag going against Alberta. They're going to take an unnecessary roughness penalty, so Manitoba will pick up 15 yards. This is the one of the situations for Nate Friesen.
Roughness, Alberta, number 74, 15 yards, first down.
Ooh. Big penalty there against Mike Clarkson. It's a man who takes a penalty. We'll see as he's going downfield. Nate Friesen doesn't have the biggest arm strength right there. He had his receiver downfield. He was open, but unfortunately Nate Friesen's arm not big enough or strong enough to get him to catch him in stride. As a result, underthrown to Doran and nearly intercepted.
First down Manitoba from the Alberta 30. Chad Young, the big fullback, lumbers to another first down. And Jim Toth is standing by with an update. Jim?
Well, guys, he didn't get the ball there, but Matt Henry returned to the offense. They had the trainers look at him on the side. He took a shot in his right rib cage. They made sure it wasn't broken or cracked and just bruised, and he's back in there, so he should be good to go for the rest of today anyway.
Good news for Manitoba, who have a host of backs to choose from. They fake to Young. Now Friesen carries for the first time today and gets 3 or 4 yards.
And this is that triple option play, either fullback, give it to the fullback, keep it himself, or pitch it out to Matt Henry. And Nate Friesen deciding that time to keep it himself as he'll move it just shy of the Alberta 10-yard line. So once again, the Bisons within striking range.
Well, Friesen's had to scramble a few times today, but that was the first time they've called his own number. 2nd and 5. Here's Henry. Breaks 1 tackle, but can't elude 45, Craig Gerbrandt.
Gerbrandt coming up and making a nice tackle. We talked about this in the first half. Alberta has 2 of their best players on what would be the weak side of the field in Dan Bass and Gerbrandt, and they just say to teams, if you want to, try and run against us, but our 2 of our best tacklers, and there Gerbrandt coming up and making a nice play as a result. The Bisons will now be forced to go for the field goal here from 20 yards out.
Yeah, big play there by the Bears defense. Dixon is in. This one's from about 18 yards out. He's already hit from 20. And it's through.
Well, another nice drive to open up the half. The first half, of course, they opened up and scored a touchdown. This time around, they drive it all the way to the 10-yard line before they're stopped, but they do come away with some points, which, you know, will make Brian Dobie happy, considering some of their drives in the first half when went into the red zone came up with nothing.
There's Brian in his 14th season with the Bisons. Won a Vanier Cup 2 years ago. Did not make the playoffs last season. Josie on first down.
Rodney Patterson making the stop there. As Josie, who had 48 yards in the first half on 10 carries, Right about his average.
Yeah, pretty much a saw-off between the primary running backs.
Yeah, well, until you get into the
Henry and
second half here with Henry come up with a couple of big runs.
Alberta down by 11. Midway through the third quarter, 2nd and 8. Pass is complete to Lane Rogers.
Nice catch there by Rogers as Teague Sherman came up to make the play right on Rogers' back. But and know what? Good recognition by Rogers also. Right to the first down marker, makes the play, secures the ball, and Alberta moves the chains.
Rogers, a fairly big target, one of the busiest receivers in Canada West thus far. 15 catches heading into this game. Gives the Bears a first down near midfield. Armstrong over the middle, complete. And another first down for Alberta. David Court, the receiver.
Well, that's just a nice job. Good-looking ball here from Quaid Armstrong as he just drops this over the outreached hand of the linebacker, Jim Jevons. It looked like number 17 for the Bisons had an opportunity to knock this down or maybe even intercept it. Yeah, you see his hand come up over there, but then a nice catch, pick up the first down before Thomas Hall makes the tackle. And once again, Alberta, we've seen it so many times, inside Manitoba territory, but they don't get very far from here usually.
Josie. Gain of 4. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the last 2 times they've been in Bison territory, they've fumbled. Rogers fumbled, made a nice catch, then fumbled, and then Pete Adams came up with an interception for the Bisons.
Well, and the one opportunity where they've really been in there, where they had the 49-yard field goal opportunity for Hugh O'Neill, they decided to punt the ball rather than to go for the field goal. So, I mean, it's just been a situation where Manitoba has had that bend, don't break kind of policy where, hey, we'll give you that stuff all the way up into our side of the field, and that's where we're really going to hunker down and not give you anything.
2nd and 5, Alberta. Armstrong to Josie. He has the first down. Tackled by Grayson Wells.
Wow, this is another nice ball from Quaid Armstrong because I don't think there could have been better coverage than what Thomas Hall had on Josie. You'll see it right there. He just misses swatting that away, and Josie was able to pick up the first down. But if Armstrong is off target by even an inch or two, that ball is knocked down and would have been forced Alberta into a third down situation.
As you saw there, first down's fairly even. Manitoba with the edge, 17-15. So a lot of offense, not a high-scoring game, but both offenses have moved the football, just the turnovers again.
And Thomas Fry, the big right tackle, who's down on the field getting checked out, holding his right ankle, maybe his calf, possibly cramping. Every injury I know of the lower half of the body, I'll just throw up in the air, and hopefully one of them will hit, right?
We're going to take a look at the CIS top 10. Don't study it too hard because it'll change next week.
Well, it will change, except for big week this week, though, in terms of the top 10. Laval taking on Montreal tomorrow. That should be a fantastic game between those two Quebec powerhouses. But Calgary, number 3, Saskatchewan, number 7. And as I said, Alberta is number 11. They could really be 10B, as Guelph would be 10A, because they both got the same amount of votes, but then they went to a second vote, and then Guelph ended up being number 10.
Well, the Bisons want to win this game because they have Calgary next, followed by Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Armstrong.
Oh.
Is it complete? It appeared as though it went through the arms
it was completed,
of a Bison defender.
I'm not sure if the man was in bounds when he made the catch. Pete Adams should have had an interception here. Referees are conferring, and they're going to say it's a catch. Wow, I'd like to have another look at this one because I don't think that offensive player was in bounds. So Pete Adams should have had the interception. Through his head. Oh, no, good. Well, if that first foot was down, it was in bounds, but not sure if he had control of it at that point in time.
After the play. That was never.
As we'll take one more look here. Does he have control of it? Doesn't have. Now he has control, and then both feet go out of bounds. So that first foot was down, but I don't believe he had control. If there were replay in this, I think it would have been switched. It would have been overturned and come back, but there was a. Looks like there was a penalty against Alberta on the play. And a big penalty at that, an unnecessary roughness penalty against someone on the Bears. So it'll be 1st and 25.
Well, that changes things,
Yeah.
huh?
Wow.
Wow. And they were down inside the 20, and now they're scrimmaging from the Bison 41-yard line. Critical penalty. Tendai Josie, gain of 3.
Once again, Wyatt Jacoby in on the tackle for the Bisons.
Well, there's no rush here. I mean, they can be patient. They're only down by 11.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, this was the sort of situation, too. It's 2nd and 20. We don't have to go for it all. Let's try to crack it down a little bit. Let's get half of it and put ourselves in the field goal range.
2nd and long, Alberta. Armstrong with a lot of time. He's going to run the football. Chased by Jevons, eludes him. And tackled at the 30.
And it's going to be a penalty against the Bisons, it looked like. Could be face mask. Not sure what the call is, but it was coming on the tackle on Quade Armstrong. This is going to be an automatic 1st down for the Alberta Golden Bears, it looks like.
And they'll be back where they would have been had that earlier play stood.
Number 29, 1st down.
So there you have it, face masking the call against the Bisons. Owen Ferguson is the man who's getting charged with the penalty, and just like that, looked like they were going to stop and force him to a field goal, but instead, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Now, clearly that's not intentional. Ferguson's going after it, but...
well, it's tough to see from that angle, but that referee was right there, and they don't have an unintentional call in the Canada West, so if it's a face mask, it's 15 yards. That's just the fact of the matter.
Josie is gang tackled. I believe this is the closest the Bears have been to the Bison end zone today. And they need to come away with some points here.
Good pursuit there by the defense from Manitoba, stringing that play out, forcing him to the sideline. It was just, Josie was looking for any opportunity to turn it up, and there's just no gaps in that Bison defense.
Bears are going to take a timeout with a 2nd and 8 situation. Quade Armstrong started at quarterback and then gave way to Julian Marchand in the 2nd quarter, and he's back in to start the 3rd.
See Teague Sherman down on one knee right now. Looks like he's just stretching it out, but nice decision there by Quade Armstrong. Comes under center, doesn't like what he sees, not sure about the play call maybe. Just take the time out there at a crucial point here in the game where it's 2nd and 8. They're within striking range of putting this one in the end zone. He doesn't want to make a mistake, so decides to call for the timeout.
Not to put you on the spot, but what kind of play do you expect the Bears to call here?
You know what I'd like to see right here, because we haven't seen it all day. I'd like to see something like a little a screen to Josie or to Jarvis, whoever is in there in the backfield right now. Just something to keep that defense in check as well, because they've been bringing a lot of heat, especially on 2nd down. Manitoba likes to bring guys, so if they can catch them off guard with a little drop pass to Josie, it may just work.
Big play here for Alberta, 2nd and 8, deep in Bison territory. Play action, Armstrong for the end zone, has Malott, and he's ruled out of bounds.
Wow. Now this is another situation where the referee, basically what he's saying here is that he did not have control when he went out of bounds. We take a look right here. Pete Adams on the coverage, looks like good coverage. No control there, it's up on a helmet, not in his hands. Looks like the bull feeder out of bounds, tough to see. Looks like a pretty good call, though, from the official there.
Good call, nice catch, but
unfortunately ran out of room.
And decent coverage by Adams. Bears will kick a field goal. Hugh O'Neill's first attempt of the day. 7 of 8 on the season. This one's from 20 yards out. no problem for him. That cuts the lead to 13-5.
So first offensive points of the game for the Alberta Golden Bears. So we take a look here. Watch the feet. Where his feet are, as we just coming out of the screen there. But yeah, it looks like those feet are out of bounds by the time he has full control. He had it up on his helmet, but he didn't have control of it. Pete Adams didn't have control of it, so unfortunately, by the time he did come down with it, it was too late.
And there was an official right there.
No,
He had his eyes
good call.
right on the goal line. Girardi gets 5 yards for the Bisons.
At 5'9", 200 pounds, James Girardi, not a big guy, but man, he's tough to bring down for these defenders. Just he's like a bowling ball, good power, you know, down low, tough to stop, and he's just shedding a couple of these blocks right at the line of scrimmage and able to pick up some positive yards there. He's able to pick up 5 yards.
Friesen intended for Girardi over his head. Let's check in with Jim Toth.
Well, another injury update for you guys, this time from the Bisons. Defensive back Teague Sherman is having some numbness in his fingers and forearm. He's been struggling with it throughout the game off and on, but this last drive he really failed to make a play. The coaching staff told him if he can't go or make the play, he shouldn't be out there. He's sitting down now. Obviously a teamer, one of the highlights from the young defensive backs from last year's team, came in as a rookie and led them, and he's struggling right now. I'll let you know if he gets back in the game, but it doesn't look like he will be anytime soon.
Well, that's bad news for the Bisons because he's one guy they haven't had to worry about the secondary. They've had to make some changes there as the season's gone on, but he's one guy who's just been a staple.
Yeah, playing that safety position. They've done a little bit of switching in and out between their halfbacks and corners, but Teague Sherman, as you said, Mike, it's kind of been their solidified that secondary.
Manitoba, number 11, third down.
As procedure call going against Manitoba, they'll back up 5 yards for this punt. You see Sherman there holding the ice pack on his elbow.
Brendan Bowman. Not his best effort, a wobbly one that goes out at the Bison 50. So great field position for the Bears, who probably put together their best drive of the game the last series.
It was probably their best drive. They got a little fortunate. I think they got the good call along the sideline where Pete Adams probably should have had an interception, but a solid drive nonetheless. But then a shank there by Bowman. As a result, fantastic field position to start off with for Alberta at Manitoba's 52-yard line.
See, I'm the play-by-play guy. I can't say shank, but it certainly wasn't what we would expect from Bowman.
I just say how it is, Mike.
I realize that, and that's why we pay you the big bucks.
That's right.
Josie, gain of 7.
By the way, you better pay me after the game. I got to have bus fare to get to the airport.
Well, we're going to save a bit of money by putting you on a bus to the airport rather than a cab, and we can buy you another nice sweater.
There we go. I like that. As we see that,
we've got more halftime shows to come.
Yeah, lots more to come. Should mention Teague Sherman back in there, so obviously he's feeling good enough to try to keep going.
2nd and 3, another first down for the Bears. It's bobbled, but recovered by David Court.
Court very fortunate. Fumbled the ball, but got the favorable bounce. No Bisons around, and he's able to come up with it. I like the play there by Quade Armstrong, just taking that first down. Jim Jevons coming in and making that hit, but bounces right back into Court's hands. That's what I said at the end of the first half. Whoever can hold on to the ball here in the second half will be the team that comes out on top. Turnovers are going to be huge.
5 in the first half. None so far in the second half. Armstrong under some pressure and throws it out of bounds.
I should mention, I said that they gave up a sack in that first half, the first all year, but now it's been credited for a tackle for a loss. So when the quarterback is running and on the move, even though he's caught behind the line of scrimmage, it's just called a tackle for a loss and not a sack. So just to distinguish between that. So far this season, 0 sacks given up by Alberta.
The streak is intact. Ball's at the Bison 36, 2nd and 10. Alberta, they trail 13-5 over the middle. And it's a little too high for Rogers.
He was trying to knife that one in there to Rogers, but able to get one hand on it, but looked like it was some decent coverage down the field there for the Bisons.
So we'll see a long field goal attempt from Hugh O'Neill. He's hit already in this half and is 8 of 9 this season.
43-yard attempt.
And he's got enough on this ball, but it's wide right.
Keep your eye on Battelle, though. Battelle just trying to see what was available. He casually played that in the end zone, dropped it, but then just thought, you know what, let's see what I can get out of here. Of course, he had that record-setting 129-yard missed field goal return for a touchdown, but nothing doing this time. Good coverage by Alberta's special teams. You see the smile there from Battelle. But they get the single to make it a 13-6 ball game.
Just over a minute left in the third quarter. Manitoba at home, up by a converted touchdown over Alberta. Will Shields, the fullback, with a gain of 3.
Used mainly as a blocking back, but Shields, a veteran player, getting his chance to carry the mail there.
Nate Friesen's gone all the way at quarterback. He gives to Matt Henry, who just has a jump in his step today, and he gets a first down.
Yeah, just this little stop and go. You can see getting back to full speed is taking him no time whatsoever. Great hole again up front. Look at that. Huge hole, little stop and go there, able to pick up the first down.
Well, the Bison running game has really come alive in their last few games. Friesen's going to throw this time. Super effort by Rory Anderson, but he got belted by Brent Krawchuk.
That's right, Krawchuk, the cornerback. Oh, they always love those kind of shots. Anderson, good throw, good ball here on the break from Friesen, but he says, you know, maybe a little late on his break, but looked like a decent ball from Friesen here as we'll look. Looking for Anderson, who's been open a lot of times on the sideline. You see Krawchuk coming in, making the contact. Anderson can't come up with the grab.
Well, Friesen doesn't have the strongest arm, but I've noticed like he throws really well on the run.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. To be honest with you, he may get more on his ball when he is throwing on the run.
Well, he fakes the run and throws downfield and almost finds Julian Hardy.
Nice job here. It looked like Jeremy Botello came back and made a great block from Friesen, allowing him to throw that ball, but unfortunately incomplete.
Well, we've got 3 quarters in the book. We look forward to the 4th and final quarter. It's Manitoba leading Alberta by just a touchdown. 13-6 the score. Back to Winnipeg in a moment on Shaw TV.
To relate it to football, it's the completion that's needed. Making a touchdown is finishing the final. You win the game, you pass the class.
Did you know that 500,000 Albertans live with arthritis, and 60% of them are below the age of 65? Or that arthritis affects 1 out of every 250 children? If you feel you may be one of them, enroll in a free Arthritis 101 workshop to learn more.
High-quality meat proteins, patented formulas, nutrients food for cats, produced in our own facility. No byproducts, no added glutens, fillers, artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Available at Petland. Details at nutrients.com.
CIS Canada West football is live on Shaw. Catch the best of the best battle it out for Western Canada gridiron supremacy. Tune in Friday, October 9th when the Saskatchewan Huskies look to protect the home turf from the invading UBC Thunderbirds. CIS Canada West football, only on Shaw.
Welcome back to Winnipeg and our Canada West football game of the week on Shaw TV. And there's a brave soul. It's not winter here yet in Winnipeg, but it's cool. It's compared to the last time you were here.
I'm a softie, but even I'm saying it's not that cold. As we get a look at our stats for 3 quarters of play, the big stat here, the big change, Manitoba, 0 passing yards in that 3rd quarter is what they're being credited for. But they do have 327 yards of total offense. No turnovers for either team in that quarter of play, so big one there, but still the 7-point lead here for the Bisons.
Bisons are going to punt away the ball as we begin the 4th quarter. Bowman, another bad kick. And
you can say it.
Yeah.
It was a shank. It's okay.
That's so uncharacteristic of him.
Well, he's been very strong throughout the year, and you can see a couple of them here just going off the side of his foot. That's 2 in a row for Bowman, who's had some big punts here on this day, but not getting them at a crucial point in time here in the second half, as once again Alberta, good starting field position.
Yeah, that punt was about 20 yards shy of what he'd normally produce, and it gives the Bears the ball at their 42. They fake the run to Josie and go over top, but it's incomplete. Grayson Wells with coverage on Vallow.
Yeah, nice coverage there by Grayson Wells. A little play action, but a wobbler coming out of the hands of Armstrong too high, and not able to make that completion.
2nd and 10, Alberta at their 42.
Alberta generated more offense in that 3rd quarter. Managed a field goal and a single, though, and they need more than that. Armstrong looking for Vallow. Good coverage again by Wells.
Yeah, Wells is a guy they've been going after, but Vallow trying to run, looked like a bit of an out and up, trying to freeze Wells, but Wells was not buying it, stayed with them the whole way, and Armstrong was hoping to have him wide open, but Vallow got caught up with Wells and unable to break free.
Bears are warming up their backup, Julian Marchand again. O'Neill, lots of time. Vitello, the lone man back, but he won't have a chance to return it.
His best kick of the day, and once again, good spot here now for Manitoba to send their offense out onto the field. Starting from their own 39-yard line.
Matt Henry closing in on 100 yards, has 91 on 11 carries.
It's long of 26, nice 8.3 average.
And here's Matt. Gets 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. He had a slow start to the season. Mom came to town on
maybe
week
a little
3.
home cooking did the trick.
Ran for 139 yards, and he's close to 100 today.
Yeah, great story from Jim Toth that we saw at halftime about his relationship with his mom and how excited he is to have her in town for a while to see how things are here in Winnipeg. It was our first opportunity to see him play live here in Winnipeg last 2 weeks ago, rather.
2nd and 5. Jake Kennard has the catch, but he's shy of the first down.
It looks like he'll come up about a yard or two shy here of that first down. Brian Dolby taking a look at it. He wants a measurement. The referee says no need. This one's no doubt. It's 2 yards shy. And Dolby's going to send out the punting team.
Yeah, I guess until the Bears prove to you that they can get to the end zone. Well, that's a long 2 yards.
Well, that's the thing. It is a long 2 yards, though, for Brian Dolby. And the fact of the matter is the way his defense is playing right now, this is the right decision. You punt the ball away, get your defense back out there, shut down the offense one more time, and then hopefully get great field position once again. So, yeah, unless they can start driving on them consistently, there's no need to panic for Manitoba.
David Court, close to the Bears' 40. A much better punt there from Bowman.
Final score of the CFL this afternoon, the Montreal Alouettes over the Toronto Argonauts, 27-8.
So they'll start now at the 36-yard line. We saw Marchand warming up, but Armstrong is still in the game here.
Bears run on first down, and they don't get much.
Once again, good job from the big boys in the middle for the Bisons. Jesse Shriver, number 42, is the man who came up with the tackle. Keep Josie to a 1 yard gain.
Bears down by 7 with 11 minutes left in the game. 2nd and long situation, and Armstrong's almost picked off by Pete Adams, who has one already today.
Yeah, Pete Adams has had his hands on a lot of footballs today. Unfortunately, can't come up with the grab there, and that's just another missed throw here from Quaid Armstrong, looking for his receiver, number 84. Of course, that's Anthony Mallet, who was running in. Miscommunication between the two and nearly an interception for Armstrong.
One play at a time, boys. One play at a time. Let's go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how long Coach Friesen stays with Armstrong at quarterback. We've got a decent guy off the bench.
Yeah, I got a feeling with Marchand looking to warm up again that we'll see him next series.
Good punt from O'Neill, fielded by Botello as he runs out of bounds with it.
Flag on the play, though. Unnecessary roughness, face masking going against Alberta. So this will tack on another 15 yards for Manitoba as we get a look at Marchand warming up on the sidelines for the Bears. But some good starting field position now for Manitoba.
Unnecessary roughness, illegal hands to the face, Alberta number 46. It'll be a first down.
Legal hands to the face, the call. So and just like that, now Manitoba will start at their own 49-yard line.
Nate Friesen has gone all the way at quarterback. Bisons used all 3 of their quarterbacks in the first 2 games of the season. They even took 3 on the road, but it's been Friesen the last couple of games. Pitches to Matt Henry, but they probably don't even get back to the line of scrimmage. They lose a yard on that. Jim Toth is standing by downstairs. Jim?
Well, guys, we've talked about penalties throughout this game as they seem to be piling up here in the second half. And Jerry Friesen, head coach of the U of A, just gave it to Butcher, the guy who got that last penalty for 15 yards. Says, I don't want any more undisciplined play. We need to fight for field position and no more penalties. So he's actually getting very upset about it.
That will put Alberta at 90 yards in penalties, and Manitoba already over 100. So both teams very undisciplined today.
Friesen. Pass intended for Doran, but he was leveled by Jean-Marc Jones.
Well, big hit. That's kind of a linebacker's dream. You see a receiver coming across the middle, his head down, looking for that big hit. And it looked like the Alberta linebacker got the big shot, Doran, but he's okay there. As we'll take a look at the play here. You see Friesen across the middle, and then it's Morris, number 52, who comes up with a big stick right there.
Jones came in at the end, much like you did
exactly.
during your
Jump
career,
on the
just to get
pile. I know. I took a lot of heat for that from my teammates. They always say, "How you get all those tackles?" Just being smart. Use your head.
Brendan Bowman.
There you go.
His best punt of the day, fielded by David Court, and he's tackled almost immediately.
Well, we give him all the heat for the last two punts, which were very poor for Bowman, but he comes up with a big punt there, 42-yard punt. Great time of the game to come up with it, and Alberta now will start from their 26-yard line.
Julian Marchand is into the game, 4 of 6 in the first half. He came on in the second quarter. They fake the run, goes over the top and finds Court close to a first down.
A flag on the far side of the field, though, could be offside against the Bears, and that's what it is. So after a nice looking play there from Marchand, one of the receivers was quick to get to the line of scrimmage, and that was the reason why they got the call.
81.
Yep.
Repeat first down.
That was Court, who made the catch, is the man who was penalized for the offside.
Marchand, Josie,
this Manitoba defense has really come up with some great run defense here in the second half of play, really shutting down Josie. And once again, there's not a lot of room for him to go anywhere. Gets the line of scrimmage and nothing.
Defenses are taking over this game, not a first down in the fourth. And you can hear some of those hits up here, Jumbo.
Yeah, some big contact down there. Good to hear. And you know, it's all that initial contact, too, between all the linemen down there and then somebody getting another shot at Josie. So he was able to pick up about 2 yards maybe on that play.
2nd and 11, Alberta. Important down for them, trailing by 7 points.
Oh, ooh.
A bit of contact at midfield, but no flag. Vallo, the intended receiver. And he looks back at the official.
Was the man on the coverage there, and I would say he was early. It looked like it could have been pass interference here. We'll have a look. Tough to see on that play there. It looked like he got his hand in just on time, but looked like maybe he got a little contact. But Owen Ferguson making a nice play there on Vallo.
So another 2 and out for the Bears. They're 3rd in the fourth quarter. As the Bison defense tightens the screws, Botello fields it on the run. Flags are down, likely no yards. He's corralled at midfield.
I really like the way how Botello comes up and makes a play on that ball right away. Doesn't allow it to bounce, comes up, makes the grab on the run. As a result, gets a no yards call. He's going to get some extra yards here for his team. And once again, Manitoba, with winning the battlefield position right now, are going to start inside Alberta territory. And if they can come away with some points and really cement this game here for them. There you go, coming up, good concentration, makes a nice play on that ball on the run. And it was Muccina who was in there early. but not much you can do as a guy coming down the field trying to make a play, a covered guy, because you're not really sure where the ball is. You're just watching the return man, and as soon as he starts coming up on you, you can get a little trouble. You can get caught in that zone.
Bisons start this series on the Bears 40. They give to Matt Henry, who's looking for a hole, and breaks the tackle and gets a first down. I'll have to see that again, because it looked like he was done at about 2 or 3 yards of a gain.
Dan Bass, number 44, had him for Alberta, but he just going to go a little stop and go here, just going to slow it up, and then right there, 44's got him. He's got him wrapped up. No, he doesn't. Hetherington misses him as well, and then Matt Henry able to pick up another 6 yards to get the first down. And this is where you really can wear out an opposing defense. It's with the run like that. And Manitoba now, with 7.5 minutes left, they can work the clock as Matt Henry goes over 100 yards on the day, work the clock, and just run this ball all the way into the end zone.
And that was Dan Bass Jr., no rookie, who he just shed.
A former All-Canadian in the CIS, and a guy who does not miss a lot of tackles, that's for sure. As we get one more look. And Matt Henry just looking for the hole. He's looking for somewhere he can go up. Makes the stop, comes up. You see Bass come in there, but he doesn't wrap him up. He doesn't get the arms around him. Hetherington, he thought Bass had him. Doesn't wrap up either. Gets that first down.
Bisons at the Bears 27. And here's Matt again.
Yeah, stay behind the mic. He's tackled by Danny Bass Jr.
Another 5 yards there for Matt Henry. As he'll get a breather here when James Girardi comes in.
Well, the Bisons can really put the Bears in a hole if they come out with some points here. Even a field goal.
Even if you're absolutely right. Make it a 2-score game.
Second and 7. Friesen's going to run it himself, and he has another first down.
A good play call right there by Manitoba. I like that. We haven't seen very much of it, but that is just another asset that Nate Friesen adds to this offense for Manitoba. His running ability, and does a nice little job there to maneuver his way for the first down.
Manitoba leading 13-6 and driving here in the fourth quarter. Matt Henry.
Matt Henry, the ball carrier, taken down by Danny Bass Jr.
And I love what Manitoba's doing right now. They realize the defense for Alberta is getting a little fatigued. A lot of confidence in this offensive line. Just keep running the ball. Whether it's Henry, Friesen, Girardi, they're getting 5 yards every time on first down. Keeps that defense in check on second down, but they're still going back to the run. So look for more of Matt Henry here. And why not?
Second and 5, Manitoba. They fake to Henry. Friesen rolls out, and they have a touchdown. Botello.
But those are the kind of things, because the running game's been so good, it's just that play action freezes the defense long enough, allows Nate Friesen to get to the outside, and then hits his most sure-hand receiver, and that's Jeremy Botello for the touchdown.
And if you don't have a running game, you can't do that.
Absolutely not. You're exactly right, Mike. And a great job here by Friesen. Little freeze there on the defense, all kinds of time and space. We said, Nate Friesen throws the best when he's on the run. It's plain and simple. He should never drop back into the pocket, I swear.
That one was right on the money. Jeremy Botello emerging as a receiver in this game. Extra point by Dixon is good.
Well, clearly, still a lot of time left. 5:42 left here in the game. Alberta down 26, but I mean, we talked about off the top of the show about the standings and predictably unpredictable, but Manitoba gets the win here. They'll go 2-2. Then you got Alberta would be at 2-3. You got SFU at 2-3. it is just wide open here in the Canada West, and with 3 weeks left in the season, just a lot more football to play where teams are going to have to find a way to come up with a win.
Well, the offense for Manitoba keeps getting better, but it's the defense. You know, they held UBC to 10 first downs a couple of weeks ago, and today the Bears haven't been able to get into the end zone.
And it's that defense that's kept them in a lot of games throughout the year. Even in those early games versus Regina and for a while versus SFU, it's their defense, which is their strength. But it was the key last week. UBC had some great drives early on, but after that, Manitoba's defense shut them down. They couldn't get anything going in that second half, and the same thing here. They have given up 4 points to this defense so far today. The 2 points coming on the safety, so credit this Manitoba defense. Without Eddie Steele in the lineup, have done a fantastic job. Alberta's been unable to stretch the field. They've had nothing downfield to throw at. Jossy's had some decent runs, but other than that, this Bison defense has just clamped them down.
Jess Vallow trying to give his team some decent field position. Takes it to the outside, but he's tracked down.
It's just too far to go for a return man. He starts on the short side of the field trying to go all the way, stretching out as long as he can to find an opening. Nothing there, and Manitoba's cover team doing a great job to string him out and come up with the play. You know, you want your return man to try to create something, but at some point in time you need him to turn it up. But nothing doing there as Manitoba's defense, the cover team rather, on the kickoff team, all over him.
Well, not what the Bears wanted. They're going to scrimmage from their 10, down by 2 touchdowns with 5 minutes left. Marchand working out of the gun. Can't find anybody. Jim Toth has an update for us. Jim?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Jeremy Botello is just stretching out here after that touchdown. Obviously, the play action is working for you guys now that you've got all cylinders firing on offense.
Oh, definitely. Nate's running the ball great. He's got great vision. Matt Henry's turned it on in the last couple of games. I don't know what's happened to him. He's a little beast. I can't say enough about our O-line either. They're great.
You've known Nate Friesen for a while. Why is it that he throws better on the run?
It's just a scrambling quarterback, because that's just his nature. And we kept telling him that first couple games, like, he's not a pocket pass, so let's get real. But he's a great quarterback, and he's leading us up and down the field all day. And kudos to him.
Jeremy, thanks for this, and good luck the rest of this game.
Thanks very much.
Mike?
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Telling it how it is. I love it.
That makes 2 of you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, verifying what makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. I know it. Why are you laughing? I thought it was an Ottawa Senators press conference for a while. All the guys on the bike.
Yeah, that's right. And they're usually out of breath.
Yeah, exactly. The sweat dripping on the microphone.
So another 2 and out for the Bears, and that's their 4th in the 4th quarter when they need points.
Yeah, they just had no success whatsoever stretching the ball down the field. What I mean by that, it's going deep, going 15+ yards, and they've just had nothing where they've been a pattern that they'll be able to find against this defense to find an opening. And as a result, Marchand there nearly threw another interception.
O'Neill needs a good punt here and gets one. Botello fields it on the fly. He's got some room to the outside, cuts back inside, and a really good return with a flag down on the play.
Yeah, 2 separate flags. Another great return here from Botello. I can't say enough about him and his return game, but this one will be coming back. And there was a couple options here for a block in the back against the Bisons.
It's a good thing Jim Toth didn't ask another question. He would have missed that.
That's right.
Play.
Exactly.
You guys know where it's from, eh? Yep. Holding. Manitoba, that penalty's declined. A legal block. Manitoba number 44, first down.
So 2 separate penalties going against the Bisons there on the return. They'll push them back inside their own territory. They'll start from their 49.
Well, that's unfortunate for them, but it doesn't kill them because they had great field position after the return. So they're.
That's exactly it. And with 4:12 left, I mean, they could. Well, I mean, basically a couple of more first downs here, and they can really work and run out the clock.
Bison Sports thanks the volunteers of the Bison Cheer Team.
Ball's at the Bison 49. They're in control of this game, and you'll see a lot of running from here on in. There's Matt Henry for a yard.
The beast. That's what they're calling him. Battelle talking about his running style. Don't know what's gotten into him, but he's right. The last 2 games, Matt Henry has been absolutely fantastic, and he really is the straw that stirs the drink here for this offense for the Bisons. If he's going, the rest of the offense gets a lot more options. As we said, run that play action, allows Nate Friesen a little bit more time in there, and you can see what it's done for Friesen today.
Matt's over 100 yards for the 2nd consecutive game. And here he is again. He'll be short of the first down. Yeah, I guess there are a lot of factors that go into why, you know, a running attack works and why it doesn't. It's the defense you're facing. It's the O-line. Yeah, a lot of intangibles.
And I find talking to coaches and having played with guys, confidence is a huge issue. When they know things are going well, the offensive line will come back to the huddle and go, let's run that again, run it again, because they know that every time they're going to get 5-6 yards every time. That's what this offensive line is doing for Manitoba. They know when they go out there that they're going to get their guy going, and they've done a fantastic job again today.
And another thing is, you know, the Bisons had no passing attack their first 2 games, so teams knew they were going to run the football.
Not a lot of options.
Bowman, another really good kick. Drives Court back to his 5. David Court tackled at his 15-yard line.
Fantastic punt and fantastic cover downfield by the punt cover team for Manitoba. Court nowhere to go, pinned to the sideline after the fantastic punt from Bowman. And then look at it trying to get it around as he's finally taken down there.
Well, where are you going to be next week, Dan?
I will be in Saskatoon next week as the Birds will be taking on Saskatchewan. That will be a Friday night game. That's October 9th. Start time 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Of course, Saskatchewan 3-1. UBC at 1-3. UBC playing, by the way, Calgary today. So they're talk about a tough back-to-back week. Calgary today, Saskatchewan on the road.
Saskatchewan with 2.5 minutes left and 2 touchdowns to make up. Marchand runs for what appears to be a first down. Will you go with the stubble again next week?
Well, we'll have to just wait and see. You know, there's a lot of issues that come into play with it. Got to see if people appreciate it.
I'll tune in just to see.
Just to see that.
Yeah, and the sweater. If you can come to the table with another sweater, you know, like that.
One of those I can guarantee for next week. How about that? And I'm betting it will be the stubble.
So that's Friday night.
By then it hopefully will look like stubble. It'll just look more like I've been know what I'm trying to do. This is 1 month growth. It's taken a while, but I finally got there. It's like they'll be shy of that first down by the chain length.
So assuming the Bisons hold on, and it appears as though they will, this just confuses.
And this is the best part about Canada West football, is that it just makes it much more interesting as we head into these final weeks and how important the games are. And you're going to have Manitoba at 2-2, Alberta will be at 2-3. You're going to have SFU at 2-3. I'm going to assume that Calgary will win today against UBC. That would put them up to 4-1, and then Saskatchewan at 3-1, and then you got Regina in the mix there too. They've got a couple of wins as well. So, hey, who knows what's going to happen down the stretch here? As we look at the standings, yeah, there you go. So Saskatchewan will be 3-1. I'm going to go on a limb and say Calgary will defeat UBC today. Not sure what the score is of that game, or even if it hasn't even started. But Dinos in UBC. Manitoba will be at 2-2. Of course, this is with Manitoba winning. Regina, SFU, Alberta. Look at that. 4 teams with 2 wins on the year.
Yeah, and 4 teams out of the 7 make the playoffs. Marchand forced to run again.
And just update for everybody, from that Calgary UBC game. The Dinos up 7-0 in the second quarter of play. So.
Now, Brian Dobie thinks they're the strongest team in this conference.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. You know what? They easily could be undefeated this year. They went for it in overtime in Game 1 versus Saskatchewan, but that really is a game they probably should have won. Unable to come out with the victory, but they've gotten better with every game, and that is what's scary about Blake Mills' team.
Well, we're under 2 minutes now. Marchand throwing for Orlitz, but it's over his head.
And throwing into basically double coverage, looking for Matt Orlitz. And this defense for Manitoba hasn't changed much. They basically just run a cover 3 defense, which is just 3 deep guys, and then they have everybody playing underneath. You see this time Owen Ferguson, the deep man, number 29, coming up and making a play. But tough for Orlitz to come up with a grab there.
So you're surprised, right? You told me you thought...
I am surprised. You know what? Manitoba, after what I saw versus SFU for their second game of the season, I thought there's no chance Manitoba would have much of a chance this year. But they came back last week with a good game against UBC, and then their defense has shut Alberta down this week, and that has been the big difference. Their offense looks more confident, much better with Matt Henry and Nate Friesen, and full credit to Brian Dobie and his staff. Tough to come off a bye and keep things going, but they've done just that.
Well, they've been a different team their last couple of games. Mind you, they're not facing a Calgary, but still, this has been impressive.
But Alberta's a team, they should have beaten UBC. They're up 24-6 and end up losing 25-24. They lost 34-31 to Calgary.
Yeah.
They were up in that game late. They beat Saskatchewan, beat SVU. They could be 4-0. They legitimately should be 3-1. And now they're going to fall to 2-3. So, I mean, yeah, before the game you asked me, I would have told you Alberta, the team I thought would come here in here and beat Manitoba. The Bisons had proven me wrong, and they put on quite a show today.
Marchand has led the Bears to back-to-back first downs and has them at the Manitoba 40-yard line.
1:25 to play.
They need 2 scores to tie this game. Marchand hits a receiver in the numbers, but it's picked off. Bounces in the air, and it's intercepted by the Bisons, and that'll do it.
And that's Tietzman with his second interception of the game. A tip ball, he'll come up with it, and that will seal the deal here for the Manitoba Bisons as their defense once again comes up with another huge stand.
The ball seemed to surprise Court.
Well, you know what? Because there was a man in front of him. I think it may have tipped off somebody in front there. Yeah, you see it since it became a wobbler when it goes off his helmet and then right into the hands of Tietzman, who comes up with his second interception of the game.
That's the 4th turnover of the game for the Bears. 3 interceptions and a fumble. And here's Matt Henry adding to his numbers.
Well, Nate Friesen did get pulled, as we see Khalil Williams is in, the backup quarterback here, in a little mop-up time to try to run out the clock here with 1:01 left to play.
Williams out of the Winnipeg Rifles junior program. First year with the Bisons, actually saw action in their first 2 games and came in to mop up in their third. Henry fumbles the ball, but gets it back.
So a quick 2 note here for the Bisons. And they'll punt one more time as Alberta called the timeout here to stop the clock with 39 seconds left. Another stellar day for Matt Henry, as we've talked about throughout this game. 1 touchdown run that first drive, which was a fantastic run, and then just powering his way through in the second half. A couple of pretty nice finesse runs as well. As we said, we talk about him in the power game. But 20 carries on the day for 122 yards. That will be his final stat. So another 100+ yards for him. As I said, Mike, this is the best I've seen him play in over 2 years now. So he's completely healthy, and you know he's confident, and the O-line's confident, and that's just going to cause a lot of problems for opposing defenses for the rest of the season.
Has over 100 yards rushing today and a touchdown. Bisons actually drove the length of the field with their first possession, and that was the only touchdown of the first half. They led 10-2. Very defensive second half. The Bisons scoring another touchdown in the fourth from Botello. And this one's blocked. Bowman's punt is blocked. It's picked up by the Bears, and they have a quick touchdown. Brent Krawchuk is in for the score.
Wow, just when you think, again, you know, we can say it so many times, these games are never over. It's just how it works. So a big block for Alberta. They get the touchdown. Now they kick the convert. They're down by a converted touchdown. We'll see the block here on Bowman. Looked like it was number 42, the man who came in for the block. And of course, that is Evan Rogers. And then Krawchuk picks it up, goes in, and now they're going to have a chance. Kick the convert, and then an onside kick, and then who knows, 30 seconds left in the game.
We've already shown the standings.
Yeah,
with the
I know,
Bisons
so
winning.
you can't switch, but hey, it makes it a little exciting here as we go down the stretch. Gotta like it.
Maybe we can just redo that and have it on standby.
That's right.
30 seconds left and down by a touchdown, assuming this point after goes through. O'Neill is usually automatic with these, but you never know. Good snap and holds.
All right, so this is our big opportunity for Alberta. Of course, you'll be going for the onside kick, and everybody knows in the Canadian game, you don't have to have possession. All you have to be is the last team to touch the ball before it goes out of bounds. So all you have to do is just knock the ball out of bounds. Don't have to come down with it. Just be the last to touch it.
A guy your size, were you ever involved in these kind of plays?
My size good, but my jumping ability not so good. I was ground patrol, so you want your guys who are leapers. Look for number 42, right up the gut. Yeah, they brought the heat. Evan Rogers making the nice block there. But yeah, you want your athletic guys, your jumpers, your tall receivers. These are the guys you want to go in. Ideally, you want O'Neill just to kick it towards the sideline, but just at the height where literally a receiver who's 6'4", or a DB who's above 6 feet with jumping ability can come out and just knock it out of bounds. That's the ideal way of doing an onside kick in the Canadian game.
Now, if you're the Bisons, are you not anticipating that the Bears would rush your punter there and go for a block?
Well, you would think so at that point in time, but either way, it worked for the Bears to come through. So
yeah, easier said than done.
Well,
I guess,
exactly.
Huh? They had 2 field goals blocked in their last game against UBC.
So we know where they're going. They're coming here to that would be offside. You can't pull back and go again. How is that?
And here's the kick. Short kick. Bisons touch it and recover it. Jevons is on it.
That's an interesting decision by the referees, because you can they started the kick, didn't kick it, went offside, then came back and were able to kick it again? No, that should have been called. That should have been whistled for legal procedure right away. Either way, Bisons recovered. But for me, that was a fantastic kick from Hugh O'Neill. That's exactly what you're looking for. He just didn't have anybody there to knock it out. So a nice kick up in the air. His receiver, yeah, you see Stevenson, he was backing up there. He turned his body to back up rather than just coming full tilt and just trying to knock it out of the air. So fortunately, Jim Jevons able to jump on that for Bisons, and they will be able to run the clock out here to get their second victory of the season, improve to 500 on the year.
Nathan Friesen takes a knee on first down.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better short kick from O'Neill.
Well, exactly. We're going to bring this up again, and this is accurate. This will be accurate for the rest of the day. So Manitoba moves up to that 2-2 spot with Regina, who had the bye this week, and then SFU Alberta at 2-3.
And we feel confident about those standings because it appears as though the Bears will not get the football.
No, they will not get the football again. So I'm very confident in that board.
In fact, we'll stake your reputation on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Staking my reputation on it.
I have no reputation.
Yeah, okay, well, there we go.
Here's the final play of the game, and the Manitoba Bisons are back in the playoff chase in Canada West. They open with 2 consecutive losses to start the season, but they're back in it with back-to-back victories, a 2-2 record.
An impressive job from their defense.
A little later on, Mark Prue, who pops by with fire tips for us time to time, will be helping us have a safer home and what to do in case of a fire and trouble signs to look for.
Good. Very important information, especially as we go into these chillier months. Also, we're going to be talking a little bit about Feeding the Hunger, Winnipeg Rocks for Harvest, a great event coming up to help those a little bit in need and also take in some great music. Plus, decorating for fall and making your living space look nice. We're going to be talking embellishments and different ways to do that on... Well, imagine if everything you had went up in smoke and you instantly lost everything of yours. Well, our next guest is here to talk about how she took that experience of hers and is changing it into a way to not only take in some amazing local talent, but also help those who are in need in our community. Joining us is Fran Martins, who's the event chair and sort of the brainchild behind Feeding the Hunger, Winnipeg Rocks for Harvest. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Let's just quickly start by telling folks at home about your story and where this idea all began.
Well, quickly, on April 1st, we had a kitchen fire, and our kitchen was completely lost, and the house gutted with smoke. So we're still not living in the house, living in a hotel thinking, oh, God, this is horrible. I have no clothes, no place to live. And so I wasn't feeling too sorry for myself. I thought, I've got to do something, because my life really isn't that bad. Yeah. I will have a house eventually. I can go buy new clothes. And I started thinking of some less fortunate people in our city, the people that can't afford to feed their kids breakfast. And how can I help them? And to sort of take my mind off my own troubles, actually. So that's how it came to be, and working with Harvest has been just such a great experience. It's really helped me out personally.
Wonderful, and we just want to say, of course, it's going to be a wonderful day one time when we eventually don't need Harvest, but right now there are certainly a lot of folks, as you mentioned, in our city who need the help. Let's talk about the event, because you also have a very passionate love for all of our local talent. How can people get involved?
I do. We have a great, great rock scene here in Winnipeg, and because our youth is such a powerful force here in Winnipeg, we're going to bring them out to the Harvest. We've got 3 great bands, the Paps, Sons of York, and Quincy, at the Park Theatre this coming Saturday, October 10th. Doors open at 8 o'clock. Tickets are $10. Come out and rock for Harvest. Bring a tin for the bin and really have a great rock show. We're hoping this is going to be our first annual. We're going to grow this event every year. Yeah. And 5 years, let's pack the MTS Center.
Wonderful. Well, I want to say a big congratulations to you, because that was a very difficult thing that you've gone through. We're looking forward to you getting back into your home. And of course, all those of you who want to take this event in, it's going to be an amazing experience and certainly help all those out in need. Good luck with this. And very cool fundraiser, of course, raising a lot of awareness among our youth, which I know is an important goal for you as well.
Thank you very much for having us, and I hope to see you guys out on Saturday night.
Fran Martins, be sure to check that event out. And continue to check us out after the break. We're coming back with a look at the Hollywood gossip. We'll see you then. You saw Fran Martins, who's the brainchild behind Winnipeg Rocks for Harvest. A wonderful way that she sort of shifted her experience of losing her home temporarily into helping others and really had time to reflect on it. So we want you to take this concert in. Of course, the Paps, Sons of York, and then headlining is Quincy. A lot of amazing local talent that is going to be performing at this event. It is taking place at the Park Theatre, and we want you to go.
So how do they get these?
They're going to give us an email, contests@btwinnipeg.ca. The email address is right up there on your screen. Send us an email, and you could possibly take in that concert. Of course, when you go, though, bring a tin for the bin.
Absolutely.
Always important to help those out who are needing a little bit of help this time of year.
I know I couldn't help but notice you used our brand new Tasmo coffee machine. What'd you make?
I made cappuccino, and there's lots of different options, and it is absolutely delicious. So all of us are like kids in a candy store this Monday morning. Coffee tends to be a bit of an issue or a bit of a crucial factor. So
that's
we're all
right.
drinking it like crazy.
They have
delicious.
espresso, and I plan on having lots of them.
We have to learn how to make that. So we've just learned how to do the cappuccino. It is a bit of an educational morning, but it's going to be great.
All right. We have a lot to do, and of course, part of that, folks, we'll be getting your news in just a bit.
Brand new shoes, that dress that you wear so fine.
More than invite, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you later in the season.
Okay, thank you.
Wyatt Jacoby, our player of the game here on Canada West Football Live on Shaw TV. The University of Manitoba Bisons beat the U of A Golden Bears 20-13. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Dan Sedin. Hi, I'm Henrik Sedin. We're here to talk about Biggest in the City. When you sponsor Biggest Culture, you help children with disabilities through the BC Lions Society.
Guys, it's Eagles in the City.
Huh?
It's an eagle sculpture.
What?
When you sponsor an eagle sculpture, you help children.
Guys!
CIS Canada West Football is live on Shaw. Catch the best of the best battle it out for Western Canada gridiron supremacy. Tune in Friday, October 9th when the Saskatchewan Huskies look to protect the home turf from the invading UBC Thunderbirds. CIS Canada West Football, only on Shaw.
Welcome back to Winnipeg, where the Manitoba Bisons have defeated the Alberta Golden Bears by 7 points, 20-13. Offensive touchdowns from Matt Henry here on the Bisons' first possession, and then in the second half by Jeremy Botello, iced the game for Manitoba. A reminder that our next game on Shaw comes your way next Friday night when the UBC Thunderbirds visit the Saskatchewan Huskies, and Dan Elliott promises either a new sweater or more stubble. A final score here today: Manitoba 20, the University of Alberta 13. On behalf of our entire crew here at Shaw, Mike Beauregard saying so long from Winnipeg.
Thanks for joining us today on Shaw TV. We're in the CBC newsroom. We'll be talking to investigative reporter Alex Friedman in just a moment about a piece he's working on for Monday about what some immigrants experienced trying to come to Manitoba, what they went through, and why this is important, why you should know about it. So stay with us. That's coming up in just a moment. But before we get to that, we wanted you to say hi to John Sauter. John, say hi. Hi. Meteorologist John Sauter. You can watch him every weekday on CBC News. And of course, I hear you on the radio giving the weather forecast as well.
I'm on the radio every afternoon.
Every afternoon, John Sauter. Get back to work. Shaw TV starts right now. Immigration obviously so important to Manitoba, particularly right now.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of a darker side.
Well, there is, and I mean, the importance is obviously the fact that we have a need for skilled workers here. That's why there's a provincial nominee program. We're looking for 20,000 immigrants over the next year, and we're experiencing a population boom because of it. But how are those immigrants treated when they get here? In many cases, very well. In some cases, not so. And we're looking at one of those stories.
And you're following 4 people who came here to work at a fast food place.
Fast food restaurant in Manitoba. And there are certain conditions that they're afforded. They're supposed to be, their plane ticket is supposed to be paid for by the employer. That's part of the employment contract. They're supposed to be given lodging at a reasonable price. They're supposed to be, their health care should be taken care of. All these sort of courtesies, in essence, are written into the contract. We have found a case of 4 people who came here and did not necessarily get everything that's part of that contract.
And of course, what your story on Monday is going to be about is looking at the rules that they're supposed to follow, what happens when they don't, but also how it feels for the immigrants, because that's a pretty powerless position to be in.
Well, it's very difficult. You're in another country. You don't necessarily know all the laws. Certainly don't have friends around who can help you with this sort of thing. And so when you get into a situation like that, it's a very, as you mentioned, helpless and powerless feeling. And these 4 people managed to find a few people in the community who helped them out, who brought us this story. But unfortunately, it's very possible that there are many more like this.
And this story is important. People watching right now are thinking, you know, I want to see the story on Monday because you may not have immigrated to Manitoba. This may not seemingly affect you directly, but immigration is so important in Manitoba and to Manitobans that this is something everybody should be concerned about.
And in a large way, it speaks to our society in general. It speaks to how do we treat the least powerful in our own society. And it says a whole lot about who we are and how we treat our friends and our newcomers.
So this story will be on CBC on Monday?
Monday evening.
Monday at, 5:30.
5:30, and 6 because of the new times for the newscast.
Perfect, Alex. Thanks very much. And before we go, I have a quick question for you. Do you know whether horses sleep standing up, if horses have to sleep standing up or if they sleep sitting down?
Well, I've always heard that they sleep standing up, and when I've seen them in the barns, they always seem to have very small stalls, and I can't imagine how they would lay down in there. But I'll be watching, I guess.
Well, that's one of the myths that Kim Babbage is busting right now. Thanks, Alex.
I like it.
So the question is, do horses only sleep standing up? I'm Shaw TV's Kim Babbage, bringing you another animal myth right here on Shaw TV, courtesy of the Manitoba Veterinary Medical Association, joined by vet Valerie Smith to ask the question, do horses really only sleep on their feet?
Well, actually, they don't actually only sleep on their feet. To really sleep the way we do, to have a really good deep sleep, they actually have to lie down. But they can actually have a nap while standing up on their feet. And they can do that because they have something called a stay apparatus, and that helps to lock their legs in place. And, you know, they can kind of doze away and do their thing and, like I said, have a little nap. But because they're standing up, that allows them, let's say they're out in the wild, to actually get away from predators if all of a sudden they hear something. They don't have to go through the process of getting up off the ground. But if they were actually to fall asleep while on their feet, they'll probably fall down.
All right. Another animal myth busted. Valerie Smith, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. For Shaw TV, I'm Kim Babbage.
This is a really interesting car. I mean, I certainly know a little bit of the history, but what's really strange here is because I always thought that the 57 had single headlamps. Now, this is a dual quad. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, what happened in the United States in 1957, they still weren't comfortable with the quad headlights, so certain states would allow quad headlights and others wouldn't. So depending on the destination of the vehicle, either single headlights were put in or quads were put in. So half of them, I would assume possibly half the vehicles were single headlights and the other half were quad headlight.
So where did this one originate?
This particular car comes from Montana. It's a particular state that we have interest in because of the climate. The cars manage to, it's a dry climate, and of course the cars last a lot longer in that particular state.
You know what I love about the Turnpike Cruiser was the functional climate vents set way up high on the roofline.
Absolutely, and they were controlled from the inside. And I guess it was a primitive form of air conditioning back then, and you could adjust them from the inside and allow air in, or you could turn them off depending on the weather conditions.
When you think about the 50s and you think about Continental kits, you know, there's just something about something that almost looks like it needs its own postal code.
Isn't that something? That is some Continental kit. Yes, it certainly adds to the length of the car. There's no doubt about that at all. I would think backing up, you'd have to be a bit careful and just remember you have it on there.
You need spotters for something like this today.
I think so. I think that's what the wife was for back in those years.
Now, I understand you've got somebody on staff here, Ron Coswin, who is he is the guru when it comes to the restoration and the dismantling and the putting back together, which is very important.
Absolutely. Ron, as you can see, is working on the vehicle over there. This particular car, we part cars. We use that term. If this car was parted, this whole room would be full of little bags right now with all little clips and nuts and bolts and pieces, and every particular piece has a little artwork done of it, so memories may fail, so we have to refer sometime to a bit of artwork to figure out where this particular piece went.
Is that actually using the same power window that I've seen on some of the other Mercuries over the years?
Well, there's a fifth button on the master control panel that allows this window to come down. So in the summertime, you could get a lot of air flowing through, and of course you could hear a bit of the traffic outside and things of that nature.
And inhale that beautiful, rich, lead-filled exhaust.
Lead-filled exhaust, exactly. No catalytic converters back then.
As we head into the Thanksgiving and the holiday season, this is the perfect time to start thinking of ways your business can help out in the community. So we're going to rerun an interview we did a couple weeks ago showing you how a company from Steinbach is helping out with habitat. Take a look at the sunny weather there. This was shot a couple weeks ago to remind you of summer, but this is important as we head into the winter season to think about helping out in your community. We've got a few health stories coming up for you as well, why exercise is very important if you are dealing with arthritis, and take a look at my shoes. I rarely wear high heels, and when I do, my feet hurt forever, and there's a good reason for that. High heels, obviously not good for you. Here's a story from our sister station in Calgary.
Although many women like myself enjoy sliding on a pair of heels, it's doing nothing for the health of our feet.
First of all, we put ourselves up high with that heel height. It shifts our entire weight on the balls of the feet, which aren't designed to bear any of that weight. It also changes the body up higher, so we have to take the compensation up in the low back, so we have a little bit more of a lordosis or curvature in our spine when we wear a heel. It also, those heels tend to have very pointy toe boxes, so shapes that don't match our feet. So we squish our feet into these shoes and shapes that don't match, and so we're going to come down with lots of deformities of the forefoot, so bunions, hammer toes, claw toes. You know, worst case, there could be a small fracture in the metatarsal just because of the load that's taken on those bones that they're just not designed to do.
Now we're not trying to scare you. It's not just heels. If there's any kind of instability in footwear, it can cause problems. For Cherry Davies, she had to make the switch to orthotics after dealing with a foot issue that escalated into an amputation. She had to make some big changes in her life, including her footwear. Cherry is now a regular client at the Foot Health Center and wears orthotics permanently.
They've been a great help. I don't know how to do without them, but it does help a bit. But I say every time I see nice high heel black patent pumps with a nice pair of top stockings, I just go crazy. But it's amazing how much difference it makes.
If you have to start shopping for orthotics, many may cringe at the word, but orthotics have come a long way over the years. They are much more stylish and offer more styles than ever before.
Like if you yourself came in with who has to wear heels for work, for a certain image, and you have an injury, if you need an orthotic, we'd probably do an orthotic not for the heel, but for your other shoes outside of your heels, because we can't make a very functional orthotic for a shoe as small as a heel. So we're going to educate you about your shoes outside of your heel wearing hours, and make sure that you have proper alignment, proper fitting shoes those hours, and then that will just minimize the hours that you're in your shoe.
And let's be honest, women will not stop wearing their lovely footwear. But this is just one example of the trouble spots in a high heel.
So these are a pair of my lovely new shoes that I bought, but I wore them out to a wedding and they are very painful. So what are wrong with these?
Well, what's wrong is, first of all, the heel height. So that's a lot of height on the shoe to push you forward. The other thing is the type of material that this isn't a smooth, soft leather. So it's almost like there's no give in this when it's a patent, and it just pinches your foot's going to give, not the shoe. So the other thing is that the really, really narrow base. So there's this width here is much narrower than anybody's foot. So there's just not a lot underneath you. The other part is the area underneath the heel. That's, what is that, centimeters squared? I think it's smaller than that. So it's tiny little area that you're balancing on. So you really have to use a lot of extra muscles just to stay upright in this shoe.
I did.
Yeah.
Now, even though Cherry can no longer wear heels and had to give over 40 pairs away, she does have some preventative advice for young women who also love their heels.
Always wear good shoes. You know, don't just stick to fashion. You know, don't get the really pointy toes, and get your feet checked on a regular basis, because you don't realize how important your feet are.
The fashion industry is also hitting women at a younger age. The Foot Health Center says they are seeing more and more younger women in need of orthotic foot support because of how they've treated their feet.
I'm always looking for a few features that are going to increase the comfort. So first of all, as low a heel as possible, but still staying dressy. Usually something inside that's contoured so that matches the contours of the foot. That's going to give a little bit more comfort. A wider forefoot so that our forefoot isn't being compressed. And a little bit of cushion underneath the balls of the feet, because no matter what kind of heel height you shift your weight forward, a little bit of cushion is going to help. So anything with a leather sole is going to be really uncomfortable, and then there's lots of shoes that have a little bit of a rubber on them, and that's going to increase the cushion.
Well, I found out that most heels that I own, and probably that many other women own, are harmful to our feet and overall health. They're sexy but not functional, so try and take care of your feet, and your feet will take care of you. For Shaw TV, I'm Lisa Wolanski.
Registered nurses are experts on health and an excellent source of health-related information.
I think people don't think of how often they should be hand washing. There are just so many occasions when germs can be spread. If you think about everything you touch throughout the day as an opportunity to spread a germ, you can see that there's limitless opportunities.
Follow these simple tips. Use warm water and a small amount of soap. Scrub for about the time it takes to sing your ABCs. Don't forget to scrub between your fingers and your fingernails right up to your wrist. Rinse and dry your hands thoroughly.
Just realize how many public surfaces you touch in a day. Someone who might be ill might have touched that just before you. You unknowingly can bring that infection into your home. And with just simple hand washing, you could have prevented that risk.
Frequent hand washing is your best defense against the spread of disease and germs.
It just makes sense to make frequent hand washing a habit.
We just petted her and kissed her and told her that we loved her.
Coming up later today on Open Road, what you should know about the parvovirus.
All right, so the question is, if you have arthritis, should you or should you not exercise? Chris Glowak with the Arthritis Society of Manitoba, the answer is?
You should, certainly still under doctors' directions, but there's still that myth out there that exercise will make your arthritis worse, the pain worse, but exercise isn't running a marathon. Exercise can be any form of, physical activity, movement. It can be sitting in a chair doing Tai Chi. It can be, increasing your daily activity around your house. It can be going for a little longer walk every day. They say 30 minutes a day can be hugely important to, weight management, which is, so important for, people's joints and that. So any type of physical activity, 30 minutes a day, and it doesn't have to be 30 minutes in a row. It could be 3 times a day for 10 minutes, and there's a big benefit there.
Well, talking about weight management, and this applies to people with and without arthritis, there was a really interesting fact I learned just before we went on camera, that for every 10 pounds of body weight you lose, you take 40 pounds of stress off your joints, and in particular in your knees. That is staggering.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? I mean, it's, and yet people don't know that. I mean, studies still show, all the surveys they've done recently, still show people still don't understand the benefits of physical activity. They think if it hurts, don't do it. And it's amazing people think that, and yet it's still such a myth out there. So physical activity is so very important for anybody. I mean, we always talk about our population getting more obese and that. If you can control your weight through physical activity or proper nutrition, no matter if you have arthritis or not, it can be such a lifestyle, improving your lifestyle. So certainly for people with arthritis, but even people that have arthritis still believe that, doing physical activity is going to be, make their arthritis worse, and that's a complete myth.
All right, well, to that end, there's some great new literature that the Arthritis Society of Manitoba has released, in particular this physical activity and arthritis booklet, as well as the top 10 exercises pamphlet you've got here, which isn't so new, but two great pieces of literature that people can pick up. Tell us what is included in these.
Well, this one, the top 10 exercises, which isn't so new, but it's still a fantastic resource. People can still, you know, pick up this. We can send it out to them, so if they contact us at the office. It shows 10 activities people can do even at their desk at work. So their boss doesn't even have to know that they're doing it.
Fantastic.
This is a brand new booklet. It's been just come out. Again, they can contact us. We can send it out to them. And you don't have to just have arthritis to benefit from this information. It's great information on physical activity and, you know, that whole lifestyle change. But certainly for people who have arthritis, it's a huge, great resource.
Well, and it can just give you some new ideas, right? We were talking again as well earlier that getting into the water can be a really great way to exercise that is a lot less difficult than maybe, you know, going for a run or even going for a walk for some people. You get the effect of the water, and that can help. So lots of great tips like that included.
Absolutely, and you know, we haven't talked enough about water. Water activity is so beneficial for anybody, but you reduce the weight bearingness from the buoyancy of the water. So the benefits of water exercise is huge, and you know, having warmer water, especially for people with arthritis, and that whole, you know, not having the pounding on the ground is huge.
All right, so if people are looking to get their hands on a copy of these, maybe they can't make it down to 386 Broadway, they can certainly get in touch with you, and you will mail these out. So let people know where they can get a hold of you, both the address and the website address.
Yes, they can. Again, our office is 105 386 Broadway. We're open from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, or they can go to our website, www.arthritis.ca.
Perfect. Chris Glowak with the Arthritis Society of Manitoba and the Joints in Motion Coordinator. Thank you so much for your time and for this great info.
Thank you so much, Kim.
All right, for Shaw TV, I'm Kim Babbage.
I'm sure you can read the back of that T-shirt. That'll tell you where these volunteers are from. Tony, the BioVale plant, did it shut down today for this?
It sure did. We're totally dedicated to today, and this is what our focus is for the day.
How many people do you have here in Kildonan Park today?
We just have right over 400, which is the majority of the plant. We have 90% of our employees here today.
That's amazing.
Skeleton crew that stayed back to keep the operation just running for the little bit that it needed to do for the day.
So what you guys have done here is the largest single day build for the Habitat for Humanity. Must be. So first of all, congratulations and thank you for what you're doing. Why was it so important for BioVale to get involved? Obviously you've done things like this before.
Well, first of all, for BioVale, it's important to give back to the community. It's a caring organization, and from my perspective, a company that, like BioVale, when we are able to do things like that, to give back to the community, it allows our employees to feel good about who they work for. And it helps with our retention. I mean, the bottom line is we're trying to ensure that we've got a company that cares. We are in the healthcare arena. We are about taking care of people. And this is just another way of extending that mission that we have as a company as a whole.
And what kind of reaction are you getting from your employees when we walk around and look at everybody? I mean, they're working hard, they're right into it. I'm sure there are some people here who've never done this before.
Oh, absolutely. There are some that are actually grabbing a hammer for the first time or has been a long time for them. So clearly at this point, it is an opportunity for them to utilize skills that they don't normally use on a day-to-day basis, but yet they're able to come out here and feel like they're actually contributing back. And for us, it's just a wonderful opportunity for that. But this event has been something that we've planned now for some time with the interest of teamwork in mind. And you can see different teams with different colored jerseys out here. And we are all competing out here. And then the grand prize is the team that builds the shed with the best quality is actually going to get a day off, and that's the contribution back. So that's kind of the teamwork and the spirit of what we're trying to win.
That's a wonderful incentive, and that's what companies, if you're watching right now, this is such a good way to get your company involved. Not everybody can afford to make big financial contributions, but manpower is so important. It helps in such a concrete way. 25 sheds being built for the Habitat homes. Habitat homes don't have garages, so you've got families moving in who have nowhere to store their bikes and their tools and their equipment. So this is one more step to help make them feel at home.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. And we couldn't ask for a better partner with Habitat for Humanity. They've been wonderful to team up with, and we look forward to continued support to Habitat for the coming years.
Well, I'm curious. I've seen a few people getting Band-Aids on because a lot of people didn't, like me, didn't come with boots, so I had to borrow these boots. So people getting some blisters and that. But other than that, it looks like a good, nice, safe workplace. Everyone's got the hard hats on.
Oh, absolutely. Safety is priority for us, is in the workplace as well as away from the workplace, which it is for us here today. So.
Well, thank you very much, Tony, and thank you so much to your whole team as well. And I hope that someone watching right now is going to be inspired to get their company involved, get out of the office, help build something for Habitat for Humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today on Backstage, it's about beauty, babies, ballerinas, glitter, Anthony, and cream pies. Don't go away, and we'll make all sense of it today on Backstage. Hey, Mom, I think baby has done something.
So won't you take me with you? Won't you lighten my load? The sky's the limit when you're on the open road.
Hi there, welcome to Open Road. I'm Laura Ravey. If you've ever had a new puppy, you probably know that the first few weeks are a lot of work. There's a lot to think about. There's vaccinations, there's housebreaking, there's socialization. Well, Darcy Buchanan is the woman in this next story, and she thought she had all of that figured out when she got her first new puppy.
Are you smiling? I had a life's list of things to do, like a bucket list, and number 3 was get a puppy. Want to do other side?
Darcy Buchanan finally has her dog, and although Frankie may not be the puppy she dreamed of, he came into her life at just the right time.
She listened to all the birds and outside sounds because they were so comforting for her.
Darcy is reading her own words from the first draft of her book titled Bella's Blues. The book is about the puppy she had before Frankie, named Bella. And the book is about Bella's fight with the parvo virus.
We picked out a golden girl named Bella, and she was built so strong, and the picture I have of her where she's laying on my lap and she looks like she's smiling, and I know it's weird to say like a dog smiling, but it literally, like, I swear, it just looks like little curls of her mouth are just up. And I just thought, you know what, this is awesome. I love having a puppy, you know.
But soon after, Bella started to act lethargic and she slept a lot. Then she threw up. Darcy thought that may be the puppy just adjusting to new surroundings.
Through the night, she started having more vomiting and diarrhea. She wouldn't even move out of it. Like, she just laid in it, and it was horrible. And so I knew that at this point, this is not normal.
The next morning, they took Bella to the vet where they learned she had the parvo virus. Dr. Ann Sue from the Winnipeg Humane Society treats puppies with the virus.
Parvovirus is an extremely contagious infectious disease of dogs. It can last up to 6 months in the environment, and it's very difficult to disinfect. There is a vaccine available, but for most puppies, it takes a series of vaccinations for them to be fully protected. So one vaccine with the initial adoption or bringing a dog home isn't sufficient. The dog has to go back several times.
Puppies get a combination of vaccines when they first go to the vet, but they need booster shots after that to protect against parvo.
Parvovirus likes rapidly growing tissue, so it attacks the lining of the intestine and the bone marrow. So the dog will have gastrointestinal signs, so vomiting and diarrhea, often very bloody diarrhea. And then when it attacks the bone marrow, it attacks the immune system. So the dog is left without any white cells to fight infection. So if you're bleeding through your intestine, bacteria can get into the system. So the dogs are dehydrated, they can be septic or have a blood-borne infection, and they don't have the immunity to deal with it.
During the next 2 weeks, Bella visited the vet 6 times to get rehydrated, to fight a secondary infection, and to take anti-nausea medication.
From the moment we got her, she never had a morsel of food in her mouth that we didn't force.
Darcy kept a chart of Bella's feedings and sickness and spent more than $600 on vet fees. She would wake up through the night to check her, feed her, and to clean her.
You can't believe the amount of mess that came out of this poor little puppy, and she was just so ill.
The day before her 9th week of life, Bella passed away.
We brought her outside and we had her in that laundry basket that was open, and she was just laying there, and we just talked to her and sang to her and told her that she helped bring our family together, and that we loved her and we were grateful to know her.
The 2 weeks Darcy and Brandon shared with Bella were not only filled with sickness. There were moments when she seemed happy and she played.
She was here for a reason, and I'm going to try and honor her life, and it will be hopefully through the book, and I have a Facebook fan page that I created called Bella's Blues.
Darcy plans to one day raise enough money to publish Bella's Blues and to put the book in vet clinics and schools. She hopes it will help people learn about the parvovirus and about dealing with the loss of a pet. Bella passed away, but the parvovirus lives on for 6 months to a year in the house and yard, and vets don't recommend getting another puppy for that length of time. Older dogs aren't as susceptible, and miraculously, a few weeks after Bella's death, Darcy saw another yellow dog running across a bridge in traffic.
I called him and he came, which I couldn't even believe. So I was holding his collar, and I had my cell phone in one hand, and all I was planning on doing, I thought the Good Samaritan thing, look for his tag, just call his owner, get him off the bridge, and that's it.
Frankie is at home with Darcy and Brendan now, and they're working on officially adopting him, even though he's an older dog and not the puppy they dreamed of having. You can read Bella's Blues on the Facebook fan page and talk to your vet about the parvovirus to find out if your pet is properly vaccinated. For Shaw TV, I'm Laura Raby.
Pick our way through. If you've just lost a pet and need some help dealing with it, the Winnipeg Humane Society told me to let people know that there are options. There's a grief support group that you can attend. The next one is actually on October 17th. You can also phone this number. It's 988-8804. That's in Winnipeg. Or send them an email, pet-loss@shaw.ca, if you need some help dealing with the loss of your pet.
In Canada, wildlife is always close by, so get out and see it. Everyone can enjoy wildlife at any time of year. You don't need special skills or equipment. You just need to be ready to have fun and come face to face with the wonders of nature. At home and in your community, time in the outdoors is never wasted. To learn more, visit hww.ca.
PAWS is holding an adopt-a-thon on Saturday, October 17th in Portage-la Prairie. If you can foster a pet long-term or short-term, both is a big help to the charity. Check them out online, portageanimalwelfaresociety.com. On Saturday, October 3rd, come out to Argyle for a triple threat event. That includes a dinner, an auction, and a social. It takes place at the Argyle Curling Rink, and there'll also be live entertainment. For ticket information, click on argylecountrylife.ca. The Steinbach Cultural Arts Centre has a new exhibit opening on Wednesday, October the 7th. The exhibit features Kevin James Andrews' photographic work titled Canadian Secrets. Check the website for more information at steinbachartscouncil.ca.
CIS Canada West football is live on Shaw. Catch the best of the best battle it out for Western Canada gridiron supremacy. Tune in Saturday, October 3rd when the high-flying Alberta Golden Bears look to claw out a win against the Manitoba Bisons. CIS Canada West football, only on Shaw.
Welcome to Backstage. We are at Ace Art. It looks a little bare right now, but I have the director here, Hannah G. And Hannah, I guess, why is there no art hanging on the walls right now?
Well, we're in between installs at the moment, so we're just stripping down and making it all ready for the next exhibition, the How We Do exhibition.
Oh, wow. What's that going to be about?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's horror fables, and it's Japanese horror fables put in a drawing installation with elements of kabuki theatre. It's going to be dead creepy.
Oh, perfect for Halloween. But
Absolutely.
Right now, it's the beginning of October. From October 1st to the 7th, it is official. It is the Ribbon Project Week. I got an email from Hannah G, and she told me about this really, really cool idea, and I'm going to let you tell the story about the Ribbon Project.
Thanks, Tracy. Well, it started about 4 years ago, and I was walking down this street in Bristol called Stokes Croft. It's a bit grotty, a little bit sleazy, one of my favourite places.
Grotty, I love that word.
And I was just thinking it would be so nice to have it coated in ribbons and all of these colours and stuff. And so I got a group of people together, and we were going to meet at 3 o'clock in the morning and tie as many ribbons as we could to lampposts, bus shelters, cars, anything. But then there was this terrible storm and we couldn't do it. And it got me to thinking that I'd never actually tie as many ribbons as I wanted, because in my head I was just thinking it would be like a whole colourful river. And so I was thinking that it should be maybe more interesting to have people just tie ribbons to things which they like. So streets that they like, or the bus stop that they use every day, or their mum or their dog, or their favourite dinner, or whatever. And so that's how the Ribbon Project started. It's just about sharing things, really. And so the only proviso, the only rule, if you like, is that everybody ties the same colour on the same day. So there's that kind of a very sort of small or subtle sense of community. And then you just email pictures to me, and I put them on a Flickr account, and you can kind of recognise where people have put the ribbons and whatnot. So yeah.
Oh, it's very, very cool. So October 1st, the colour is yellow.
Yellow.
So everyone, today look for a yellow ribbon, and you'll indeed be part, or I guess witness to, the Ribbon Project. Hannah, if people want to get in on it next year, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can either email me at ACE, which is program@aceart.org, or you can, I would give you my personal email account, but that's
too personal.
I'm like, people, come on. But if you Google the Ribbon Project and Bristol Stories, then you will find a digital story about it, and you can get in touch with me that way.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, don't go away, folks. There's still a lot more to come on Backstage. And you said you had a surprise for me coming up?
All I'm saying is splat.
Don't touch that dial. More to come on Backstage.
So Tracy, yeah, I wanted to tell you about a very special event that is happening at ACE. It's the Midnight Pie Fight. Now, if like me, you have watched Laurel and Hardy films and the Three Stooges, Bugsy Malone, then you may have had an ambition since you were little to have a pie fight. And it is my dream to realise that. So tonight, there is going to be a whipped cream pie fight. Doors open at 8 o'clock. There's going to be music from Def Squad. There's going to be films by Sheena Shand, a silent auction. But at midnight, everybody's going to be changing their clothes, going into the plasticed off part of the gallery at the back. And then we are going to be having a pie fighting extravaganza, whereby you can realise your pie fighting dreams.
Should we get Tracy?
Oh, mate, I'm sorry.
We gotta get this damn thing fixed! But that's the kind of game this is gonna be. When he goes over here, it's the invert two man. When he stays in the middle, it's just single high man. Make sense? Hey, I'm just trying to help.
Hi everybody, Jim Toth, host of your NFL Sunday Ticket Show. It's week 4, and I think it's nitty-gritty time for one of these guys.
Crunch time? I think someone needs to look up what nitty-gritty means.
Some things a haircut won't fix. We'll
Oh,
find
that's
out who
rich,
this
Jim.
weekend on the NFL Sunday Ticket Show.
Today, it's not about Anthony and Provici makeup tips, not quite yet. But he is working on the lovely principal dancer Tara Birtwistle from the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. And along with Tara, she, of course, has brought her 5-month-old, almost 5-month-old baby, Isabella. We introduced you when she was 3 months old. Look at, say hi, Izzy B. Say hi to all the Shaw TV viewers. She's so cute. Oh, Nicole, she's just a darling, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Well, Nicole is with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, and it's all about
Second and 3, and Way goes nowhere.
What a nice play there by Grayson Wells coming from his cornerback. He's a busy day. He's had a couple of great hits on the outside on Spencer Betts, and then coming up and making the big stick on Cheng Wei. Let's have a listen. Fired up about it, and rightfully so, as we see another man down for the UBC Thunderbirds, and that's Cody Husband, the left tackle for the Birds.
Well, if I'm Brian Dobie, I don't change this defense, and I guess you hope that a week off will do Eddie Steele some good.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big benefit for them that they were able to put up some big points here in the third quarter, so Eddie could just decide, you know what, hey, no point in me going back in. We got this one in full control. So put some ice on it, rest up, and hopefully for Manitoba's sake, he'll be able to get back in the lineup sooner than later.
Well, need to finish, you know? Be a hero. Oh.
That pretty much sums it up, huh, Jim Jevons? It's been a long afternoon.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long start for the season for him. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a fifth-year guy. I mean, he's been on the teams that have had tons of success here in Manitoba, of course, winning a Vanier Cup 2 years ago. So, I mean, to go from that and being so good and going undefeated in that season, and then the frustration of being last year missing the playoffs and this year starting 0-2, I mean, you're just kind of shaking your head because you remember the good times, and now you're suffering through some few of the struggles.
Yeah. Billy Pavlopoulos back to punt, and he's going to give up 2 more points. 36-10 Manitoba.
Not sure why they just wouldn't punt that. I understand he's punting into the wind, but at this point in time, giving up another 2 points, really not a big factor, I guess. It's back to the drawing board for the UBC Thunderbirds. I mean, easily for them, they could be 0-3 at this point in time in the season. Fortunately for them, they can't have that big comeback win in Alberta, and it doesn't get any easier for them. I know, obviously, they have to go and take on Regina, and their schedule only gets tougher down the stretch. Not only do they have to play Regina, they got to play Calgary, Saskatchewan, and SFU.
And if not for that big turnaround victory over Alberta, they could be 0-3.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
Bisons running the ball again, still get 7 or 8 yards.
And you got your third quarterback in. Kevin Hayes is in at quarterback. And a new running back as well.
Nishokalu. So some valuable playing time for players down the depth chart. 2nd and 2. Okalu again, and big gain for him.
Wow, showing a little flash of speed there. Nice little cutback into the open field. And you know what, with the running game here, I don't know the final stats, but I know the Bisons will be pretty close to over 300 yards on the ground, which is just absolutely huge.
Yeah, given their stats in the first 2 games. What do you do if you're not trying to run up the score? Throwing obviously is more blatant, but I think running, having to face the run when you've been on the field the whole game is probably tougher for a defense.
Well, see right now for UBC, they know it's coming and they still can't do anything about it. I mean, that's the most frustrating thing as a defense. You can see they're tired and they just want to get off the field. They want to get on that plane and go back to the West Coast. But the fact of the matter is they're going to have to finish this out. And, you know, this is the fun part for the offensive line for Manitoba, because they're just going, you know what, we have full control of this. We know we're going to pick up 5 yards every time. We're just going to run over you.
Here we go again.
Just over a minute left in this game. Kevin Hayes to Misho Kalu. And he's close to another first down. Looks like he's got it.
Well, he's a pretty good runner, too. I mean, he's third on the depth chart, but another guy that showing some potential here for this Bisons offense. Be third and short here for the Bisons.
It was interestingly a couple of years ago at SFU, I believe Manitoba beat Simon Fraser 77-3 or something, and just the Simon Fraser coaching staff after the game told the Bison coaching staff, it's probably the worst thing you could have done not to run up the score was run the ball against us.
Well,
we were hoping you'd pass.
Well, that's exactly
Jokingly,
it.
they said that. But
you know, and that's what happens in these types of games is that they'll get out of hand a little bit because teams are just so deflated they just want to get out of there. But that's, you know, all the offense is doing. We're just trying to run the clock out. We're just doing our best. But I mean, that year, I mean, obviously SFU went through a lot of struggles as we see another man down the field, or that's of course that's Cody Husband, the left tackle for UBC. He's got the ice on his ankle. That's not a good sign for the Birds' big offensive tackle. But yeah, you know, teams just trying to work the clock, and unfortunately for UBC, what's been good for Manitoba today has been the running game, and that's the only thing will run the clock down here.
Bisons didn't quite get the first down. They're going to go for it on third and short. Okalu has the first down and about 3 or 4 more yards.
And people say, oh, why do they go for it on their third down, running up the score? But the fact of the matter is that's the right decision by Brian Dobie. Otherwise, you go for the field goal, so you put more points up on the board. I mean, at this point in time, they're just trying to get this thing over with.
And hope the clock runs out before they get to the end zone.
But you have to remember, too, in Canada West football, sometimes the team will play, you get an opportunity to play somebody twice. So if UBC and Manitoba play each other twice, I can't remember if they do on the schedule this year, they might. But if it came down to a final playoff spot, it would go to points for and against in those games you played against them. So the fact of the matter is running up the score might be beneficial for you down the stretch if that means getting you into the postseason.
That's a good point. Okalu has run the ball 5 consecutive times, and there's no reason for the Bisons to go to anyone else. But the clock is ticking down, and they'll just take a knee here. And mercifully, this final quarter, Dan, comes to a conclusion.
Well, an impressive victory for the Manitoba Bisons. How about that? Tied at 10 at the half, and they came out and just had a fantastic third quarter, put up 21 points and rolled to the 36-10 victory.
The final score, the Manitoba Bisons with their first win of the season, a convincing victory, 36-10 over the UBC Thunderbirds. We're back with our post-game show in just a moment. You're watching Canada West football from Winnipeg, live on Shaw TV.
Realize the dream in you.
Realize the team player in you.
Realize the curiosity in you.
Realize the innovation in you.
Realize you are going places, guaranteed.
Yardworks has professional crews that can take care of all your lawn's needs. We offer lawn and yard services all year round. Yardworks, online at yardworks.ca.
Coming soon to Shaw Video on Demand.
Right now, the world needs a hero. No need to thank me. I'm just a guy with a gun. Pow, pow, pow.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. Watch Wednesday, October 7th, when the Kootenay Ice look to bury the powerhouse Saskatoon Blades. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
Welcome back to Winnipeg. Our final score, Manitoba 36, UBC 10. 26 unanswered points for the Bisons in the second half.
Yeah, what an impressive second half. I'm not sure what Brian Dobie said to his team at halftime, but obviously it worked because they came out a possessed team and their offense just finally got it going. I mean, literally it took 10 quarters of football to finally figure it out. But when they got it going, they got Nate Friesen on the move, rolling out of the pocket. They got the running game going with Matt Henry. Friesen was making the completions, and from there they just rolled on through.
And that's the key, the running game. Yeah. Friesen had some success running in the first half, but it was getting Matt Henry going. 4 first downs in the entire first half, 9 in the third quarter alone, which leads us to our jumbo play of the game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for me, it was the Matt Henry run that set up another touchdown. They believe at this point in time they were up 17-10, and then Matt Henry really, wearing down the defense. He was following Nemes and Carhut, who were on the pole there, the big right guard and right tackle, right up the middle, and he'll take it down to the 1 yard line, and from there Manitoba would put it in, and right there they would go up 24-10 and full control. I mean, we talked about the offense being so good, but also credit to the Bison defense. They were so strong today, shutting down Dave Boyd, who had so much success, almost 8 yards per carry coming into this game, and just under 50 yards on the day for him, so full credit to the Bison's D as well.
Yeah, and after that first quarter, we didn't really see much from the UBC offense at all.
No, their first 2 drives looked pretty good. Looked like they were going to get some momentum, some confidence, and from there it just shut down. We talked about it. Billy Green wasn't terrible, but it was just a situation where he didn't throw an interception, but he wasn't getting a lot of help at times from his receivers. There were a lot of drop balls, and he just wasn't on target. That completion percentage for him has to be above 50%, and just wasn't there today.
All right, Jim Toth has been doing a stellar job downstairs. He's standing by with the guests. Jim?
Well, I appreciate the compliment, Mike, but somebody's doing an even stellar job, or more stellar than me, is Matt Henry. Obviously a good game for you. 20 carries, 139 yards, but more importantly, I think you're more than happy that the offense got going.
Exactly. That's what we needed to do in practice. We had a great week of practice. Offense is clicking, on and off the field as well. We came in, scored a bunch of points, and that's what we wanted to do, get up quick and get the win, and that's what we did.
What was the difference today as opposed to the first 2 games?
Practice. The week of practice was intense. Everyone's flying around. First couple weeks we were kind of, lackadaisical, but now it's a new ballgame now. We had to get that 1 win to get going to the bye, and we're pumped up. Oh! We're pumped up.
You have a. This is the life of a star running back in CIS football. Women all around him, but these are 2 special women. Obviously, your mother and
it's my mom, and this is my second mother. She introduced me to the game of football, and I'm now here in university and doing what I do.
Way to go, Matthew! We are so proud of our boy.
I think you might get a dinner out of today. Thanks and congrats on the win.
Sorry,
guys.
Well, it's a shame we don't have those kinds of visitors in our booth.
Nobody's coming to see us.
The Bisons, with a convincing victory, have new life in their season. 36-10 the final. We're back with more from Winnipeg in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Daniel Sedin. Hi, I'm Henrik Sedin. We're here to talk about Biggest in the City. When you sponsor Biggest Sculpture, you help children with disabilities through the BC Lions Society.
Guys, it's Eagles in the City.
Huh?
It's an eagle sculpture.
What?
When you sponsor an eagle sculpture, you help children.
Guys!
CIS Canada West football is live on Shaw. Catch the best of the best battle it out for Western Canada gridiron supremacy. Tune in Saturday, September 19th when the high-flying UBC Thunderbirds meet the thundering herd of the Manitoba Bisons. CIS Canada West football, only on Shaw.
36 to 10.
We're back in Winnipeg, where the Manitoba Bisons have played their best game of the season, and they've saved it for homecoming. Manitoba 36 to 10